Severe weather coverage with First Warning 13.
Good afternoon, everybody. We are breaking into programming to give you an update on what we have going on outside. In addition to our severe thunderstorm warning that we have into northern Saratoga County, we now have a tornado warning that is in effect from now until 5 o'clock. This is radar indicated. What we have been seeing so far here is quarter-size hail around this. There is the impact of flying debris that's going to be dangerous to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes could be damaged. In regards to this damage to roofs, windows, vehicles is going to occur. Tree damage is also likely here. So we're going to take a closer look at this system here. We are going to be staying on the air until this warning expires. So we are going to be seeing that this warning is until 5 o'clock. What we're going to be doing here now is we'll take a look at what else is showing here in regards to velocity on the radar. You can see that area of rotation a little bit further close here, and I'll zoom back in a little bit more. You can see just off to our east here, we have these areas of green and red. This is a sign where we are seeing those moments of rotation. So if you are in this area just to the north of Broad Alban, you are going to want to head inside and seek shelter. You want to go to a windowless room. If you have a basement, that is the better spot to be. Make sure you are avoiding any windowways as well, and if you are on a first floor of your house, the best spot to be is in the interior hallway or in a closet. You can see some heavy rain surrounding the spot as well. We'll take a look at the chance for some hail around this spot. You can see we are seeing hail around about 3/4 of an inch in diameter across the area there. So we will give us a track here of where this is heading so that you have an idea where to go to head inside and seek shelter here. This is moving east at 20 miles per hour, so we're going to track this out here for us. And you can see that this is going to be heading towards Mills Corners by 4:33, Whiteside Corners by 4:39. And with regards to this storm, again, this is a tornado warning, so you're going to want to head inside, seek shelter until this storm passes on by. This is in effect until 5 o'clock for Fulton and Saratoga County. And on top of this, too, we do have that severe thunderstorm warning that is associated with this. That is in effect until 4:45 p.m. for Fulton, Hamilton, and Saratoga County because of those heavy rains. And we are seeing 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts with this system as well. So you can see we do have those pockets of heavy rain. We are going to keep updating a look at the radar here for us, and we'll move the map over so you can kind of see where exactly this is going furthermore. And we're going to retrack this one to see where we're going to be heading here. Heavy rain still moving across the region there, and we are going to be seeing it by Whiteside Corners by 4:30, North Galloway by 4:31, Kimball Corners by 4:32, and Ruba Camp by 4:34. If you know anybody in these areas who might be outside, give them a call, shoot them a text, tell them that they're going to want to head inside and seek shelter until this storm passes on by. So once again, everybody, for those of you just joining us, we do have a tornado warning in effect for Hamilton, or for northern Fulton and Saratoga County until 5 p.m. this evening. Right now, what we are seeing is radar indication. There is no photographic proof right now on the ground. You can see this is the zoomed out view right now. This is mainly the only storm in our region. We're going to zoom back in over that spot, though, so we have a closer look at what we have going on in that spot. We'll take a look at the shear in that region. You can see not really any shear going on, so this is going to show some favorable development here for that chance for a tornado. We have 25-mile-an-hour shear, 27 in a couple of spots. We'll take a look at the velocity as well. You can see where that red is meeting the green. That is where we are most likely seeing this tornado. You can see we have 30-mile-an-hour winds in the one spot, 17 miles per hour. Some stronger winds right around that region. So keeping an eye right around that spot for that tornado. If you are in this spot, again, head inside, seek shelter. If you have a basement in your house, go there and wait until the storm passes on by. If you do not, and if you have a first floor home, get to a windowless room away from the windows and doors and seek shelter until this passes on by through the region. You can see some heavy rain still associated around this system. You see some heavy rain associated all the way as far south as Perth, working its way just to the east of Broad Alban. That heavy rain is going to be sticking around as this area of rotation continues to work its way into our region. We'll take a look at the loop. Nothing really showing that sign of rotation at the moment on the radar, but the warning still remains in effect until 5 o'clock. We'll also take a look once again at the track once more. We got to keep updating this for you guys as this continues to work its way into our region and continues to push its way northward. So we're looking at Rubac Camp in about 21 minutes, East Galway in 25 minutes when it reaches those spots. We are seeing quarter-size hail with the storm. That is enough to do damage to roofs, to the siding. It's definitely enough to do some tree damage, anything along the lines like that. We also have our CDPHP first warning cam in Saratoga Springs. We're going to take a look at that in a second here too. You can see just off to our west, this is facing, you can see some of that darkness, some of those pockets of heavier rain falling. We aren't seeing much else besides that just yet. In regards to where this storm is in regards to this, it is still a little too far off to the west for us to see any signs of that heavier rain, but we are getting reports of thunder and lightning frequently in these spots as well. So this is going to remain over relatively rural areas to the northwestern Saratoga and southeastern Fulton counties, including West Perth, Fish House, Munsonville, Benedict, Shaw Corners, Steel Corners, Honeywell Corners, Barkersville, Glenwild, and Greenfield Center. But it is still worth mentioning once again that we do have that tornado warning until 5 o'clock for Fulton as well as for northwestern Saratoga County. And once again, what we are going to be seeing here is plenty of new stuff going on here, and we can see that we have that heavy rain still from Perth just to the east of Providence here. So heavy rain surrounding this system. It's something to keep in mind with this. We're going to retrack it for you to see where it's going to be heading. And like we said, it is moving east at about 30 miles per hour. So where this is going right now, North Galway in about 2 minutes, East Galway in 7 minutes. We have Parkus Mills in 15, Greenfield in 20 minutes, and we have West Milton in about a half hour. If you are in these spots or know anybody who's going to be in these spots, you are going to want to make sure that you are heading to seek shelter in those spots. Head to the basement or to the windowless room on the first floor of your home. When we have these kinds of warnings, a EF1 tornado or less, we could see potentially the chance for some localized wind gusts, some wind damage to the sides of the house, to the roof, to some tree damage as well. So if you're in those spots, you want to make sure you are away from any of those that could cause some damage near you. Heavy rain continuing to fall in these spots. Again, we'll take a look at the hail and see if we have any new developments in there as well. And you can see that hail pocket getting a lot more concentrated. Now we are seeing hail just over an inch in diameter. If you are in this spot just to the south of Broadalbin, we're seeing hail the size of around ½ inch to just over an inch in diameter. So some heavy rain, some hail falling across these spots here. We're going to zoom in a little bit more. Honeywell Corners looking to be pretty close to the epicenter of where we're seeing all that really strong hail in those spots, as well as one of the stronger spots where we are seeing some of that heaviest rains. Some heaviest rains falling just to the south of Mills Corners. You can kind of see that area with some purple on it. We'll try to draw a straight line to it so you can see right around here is where we're seeing some of that heaviest of rain falling and some of that stronger hail. We'll also take a look at the velocity once again to see if it's still showing some favorable conditions for that tornado. And you can see where we're seeing all this green and red meet up. That's where we are seeing some of those favorable spots for that tornado. It looks relatively light winds here for velocity for us here. So if we are seeing one, it's going to be more so in regards to EF0, EF1, but that is still enough to cause damage. Again, if you're in these spots, you want to head inside, seek shelter until these storms pass on by. Again, that for those of you just joining us here, we have a tornado warning in effect across our region. You can see they actually just updated that, so that's still in effect until 5 o'clock for Fulton County and for northwestern Saratoga County. Severe thunderstorm is capable of producing that tornado. It was radar indicated. rotation. If anybody has any pictures and is able to share them on social media, we will try to show these on air. So right now it's just radar indicated. We don't have anything confirmed that there is something on the ground. You want to make sure though that you are adhering to the warning, heading inside and seeking shelter for us here. We're going to zoom on out a little bit more because this tornado warning is associated with this severe thunderstorm warning that is now extended a little bit further into northwestern Saratoga County and even into Warren County now. So we'll take a little bit of a look at this here. Still seeing those signs of heavy rain falling in those spots, and we are also going to be seeing quarter-size hail with this large system in and of itself. But again, our main concern right now with this storm itself is the fact that we have that tornado warning for Fulton and Saratoga County until 5 o'clock. Right around that system itself, right where that tornado is radar indicated, we are seeing signs of heavy rain. We are seeing some hail, very large hail in regards to diameter size, and we are going to be continuing to see some stronger wind gusts with this storm in addition to that tornado. So we are going to track this once again for you here, see where exactly it is going. It is moving eastward at 30 miles per hour, so we are going to be seeing this at Rubach Camp in about 3 minutes, Galway in 9 minutes, Rock City Falls in 16, West Milton in 21 minutes, and we are also going to be seeing it at Milton Center in just about half hour from now. We're going to take a look once again at our CDPHP first warning cam. This is out in Saratoga Springs. You can see the clouds looking a little bit more ominous now as it is starting to approach our region. As it starts to get closer towards Saratoga Springs. Again, though, that heaviest of rain still well off to the west as you are closer towards just to the south of Providence and to the north of Rubach Camp for us here. This severe thunderstorm warning that we have been talking about it's been extended until 4:45 for us here. So again, this one thunderstorm producing a pretty big punch as it works its way throughout the course of the area. Again, right now though, that tornado warning is going through a lot of rural areas, but it is still worth mentioning for those of you in those spots, you need to head inside and seek shelter. If you have a basement, go in there. If you do have a first floor home, make sure you're getting to a windowless room and seeking shelter until that storm passes on by. We're going to take a look once again here at the size of the hail that we're seeing as the storm continues to develop. The hail really got a lot bigger within the last few minutes for us here. It looks like it's starting to dwindle a little bit more. We're back down to around 3/4 of an inch size hail falling across those spots. That's still enough to do plenty of damage to the roof, to the siding of your house, to the vehicles, to any tree limbs, any branches like that. So if you know anybody outside in these spots, make sure you are letting them know to head inside and seek shelter until this storm passes on by. Again, this tornado warning is radar indicated. We don't have any video, any photos to prove that at the moment. We are just seeing signs of rotation from this storm as it continues to work its way into Saratoga County. So this is still in effect until 5 o'clock. And we're going to take a look at the velocity once again, see if we've seen any changes in regards to that. Still looking relatively light across this storm, so that is a pretty good indicator that it is not a strong tornado, but it is still EF0, EF1 rating for us here. That it would be enough to definitely cause damage to the trees, roofs, vehicles, and even some mobile homes. So keeping that in mind for us here, we do have that severe thunderstorm warning in effect too. From that system that has spawned that tornado warning, that is still in effect until 4:45 p.m. as it continues to move eastward at around 30 miles per hour. If this is located near Northampton Beach, near the public campgrounds there, and it's about 14 miles northeast of Gloversville. So anybody in these spots, make sure you're heading inside and seeking shelter until this storm passes on by. You can see some very heavy rain falling across this whole spot here, and we're going to track it one more time, give you an updated track to see where it is going to be heading for us here. And we are looking at some pretty heavy rain with this, so even if you are not in the spot of the tornado warning, you still want to head inside and see shelter till this one passes on by. Still getting reports of frequent thunder and lightning with this as well. 3 minutes, it'll be at Galway, at Greenfield in about 11 minutes, 13 minutes to West Milton, Saratoga Springs in about 22 minutes, and we have Yaddo in about a half hour from now. Again, right now, this is the only main storm that we are watching across our region. We do have the chance to see a few more severe thunderstorms pop up. We do have a severe thunderstorm watch in effect until 9 o'clock across our region. But for right now, our main concern here is the one severe thunderstorm warning and tornado warning that we now have in effect into portions of Fulton County and into Saratoga County as well. So we're going to take a look once again at this. We're going to be staying on the air until this warning comes on down. Your lives are more important than what is on TV right now, and that's our priority here for you, is to give you the best information that we can give right now during this time. So again, we have that tornado warning in effect until 5 o'clock, and this is for portions of Fulton County. This is eastern Fulton County and east central and northwestern Saratoga County until 5 o'clock. And what this is a radar indicated rotation of a tornado. We don't have any video. We don't have any picture proof of this just yet, so you want to keep this in mind. We are seeing some large hail associated with this as well. The impact that we can see from this as it passes through this region is some flying debris. Is going to be dangerous to those caught without shelter. That is why we are stressing, if you are caught in the path of the storm, that you should just head inside and seek shelter until it passes on by. Again, if you have a basement, go to the basement. If you're on the first floor of your house, make sure you get to a windowless room and wait until it passes on by. If you're in a mobile home, you can see some damage or some destroyed depending on what happens to those spots there. We are going to see the potential for some damage to roofs, windows, and vehicles will occur, and tree damage is very likely as this continues to push its way into our region. So what we are seeing with this storm, once again, heavy rain and some hail. We'll take a look at what the hail looks like now as it continues to push east. The good news for us here, the hail area is shrinking a little bit more, but that hail still fairly large, able to pack quite a punch once it reaches the ground. We're at just over 3/4 of an inch in diameter. We're at 0.8 inches in diameter, so definitely enough to do some damage to the vehicles, to the trees, to the house, and the roof, siding, and even to the windows as well. So stay inside if you're in one of those spots. I'll look at the velocity one more time. You can see the good news is the velocity is starting to die down a little bit more. So again, if we do have anything on the ground, it is looking more like it would be EF0, EF1. That is on the lower end of the scale when it comes to tornado warnings, but still, it is something that needs to be taken seriously. So we're going to be staying on the air until this storm, until this warning comes to an end. We're going to continue to track this moving east at about 30 miles per hour for us here. So for those of you out in this region, about West Milton, it'll be getting there in about 3 minutes. Milton in 9, Ballston Spa in 13 minutes, Saratoga Springs in 18, 26 minutes by Maple Shade. And we're going to take another look once again at our CDPHP first warning cam out in Saratoga Springs. You've noticed that the cloud cover continues to change a little bit more. You can kind of see the leading edge of that cloud a little bit more here. As you take a look at the leftmost corner, you can kind of see that drop down in cloud there. That is the leading edge of the storm, still about 20 minutes away from Saratoga Springs itself, but you can see looking pretty ominous out that way. You can see that visibility has dropped out that direction as well due to that heavy rain that we are seeing. We'll take a look at the radar once again. You can see just heavy rain continuing to fall across that region. Velocity still indicating rotation-wise that we do have that tornado warning in effect until 5 o'clock across our region. And we are going to be seeing that the severe thunderstorm warning does expire still at 4:45, so in about 5 minutes. At this point, they might extend it a little bit further to the east just based off of how this system is looking. And then we can still see at the moment here some heavy rain continuing to fall. And take a look at that velocity one more time, and you can see in regards to how strong the velocity is, it is starting to become a little bit more inconsistent when what we have in regards to the green and red there. So indicator that it is a weaker storm, tornado in regards to that, but still something that is potent and should be taken relatively seriously. And the hail, the good news for us here too, is starting to drop off considerably. We're looking at hail cores now right around 1/4 of an inch in diameter. I'm going to toss things over to meteorologist Christina Talamo to give us a little bit of some more information. Christina.
Thanks, Reed. Now let's take a look here. I know we have to stay on air to give you those updates for the tornado warning. So let's take a look here at this tornado warning. This is currently issued until 5 o'clock p.m. So definitely be sure to be updated. We still have about 20 minutes currently at 4:39 p.m. And tornadoes are not much to worry about. Definitely something to worry about, excuse me. Now with the tornado warning issued, this is not a tornado watch. This means that there is some rotation indicated on the radar that we definitely need to be watching. Currently issued until 5 o'clock p.m. today for Fulton and Saratoga counties here. We can also see that there is some hail indicated, about quarter-size hail with this storm. We did see a severe thunderstorm warning issued for this storm earlier on, and this is the storm that is going to be causing this tornado warning right here. So let's take a look at the storm track of where we can see this storm going to make sure you're aware that we have this tornado warning in place. Taking a look here as we head into 442 Gilbert Corners, as well as towards Wayville in the next couple of minutes, about 10-15 minutes, and heading towards Schuylerville around 4:57 p.m. So that's going to be right before that 5 o'clock p.m. hour. So definitely be aware of that. Now tornadoes are definitely a lot to worry about. You're going to want to get to the lowest part of your house. Be sure to be in your basement. If you have one, definitely be sure to take shelter. These winds are going to be very strong. We had 60-mile-per-hour wind gusts with the severe thunderstorm earlier on, and that's definitely something to worry about. Now we're talking about a velocity signature. That's what Reed was talking about earlier, and we can see here this green is going to be that velocity that's moving towards the radar. Those are winds moving towards the radar, and this red color is moving away from the radar. So we can look at these velocity colors, this bright green and these bright reds. That's going to help us to indicate where there is strong rotation in the storm here. So not seeing too much intense rotation. I know Reed was just showing us some of the velocity speeds there, but we're definitely monitoring that as we do have this warning in place until 5 o'clock p.m. So definitely be aware of that. Warnings are definitely not much to joke about because it is going to be pretty dangerous. Zooming out here again, this is where we see our tornado warning is starting to heading towards Saratoga Springs, heading towards Schaghticoke, Clifton Park a little bit. So we can see the storm is going to continue to be pushing east. It's moving relatively slowly, around 25-30 miles per hour. So as the storm continues to progress forward, we can also see some torrential rainfall as well. But definitely be aware of those tornadoes because that is definitely something not to joke about. Now I'll give it back to Reed, who's going to give you some more updated information in just a few. Back to you, Reed.
Yeah, Christina, great point right there about the torrential rain. Another big thing to point out when we do have that kind of torrential rain is you get some reduced visibility. So if you are caught outside, you might not even see what's coming your way. That's why we do stress the importance of heading inside and seeking shelter until these things are past our area. So I'll look at the radar one more time. Still seeing that sign of heavy rain, and we are going to continue to track this one once again for us here, and we're staying on the air. The National Weather Service has continued the warning until 5 o'clock. Moving east at around 30 miles per hour, so very slow moving here at Kings by 444, Greenfield by 445, into Saratoga County by 449 it has here, Saratoga Springs by 455, Travis Corners by 457, Gilbert Corners by 502, and Gansevoort by 505. We're going to take another look at that CDPHP first warning cam because you can just see the visibility is getting worse and worse as you head further out to the west, and you'll notice now too, you might even start to see some of those pockets of heavier rain starting to fall as this storm system gets closer and closer to the region, to our camera. And we're going to take a look once again on the radar here. We're going to take a look at the hail chance for us. That chance for hail has significantly dropped off quite a bit, so that is good news in regards to seeing damage coming from hail. We are going to take a look at just how big we are seeing the hail pop up for us here. That is going to be closer towards right around a quarter of an inch is what we're seeing in a couple of spots here is what's popping up on my computer screen here. Right around a quarter of an inch, so that hail size has significantly dropped quite a bit. We have one still closer towards ½ an inch in diameter, and we'll go back to a look at the velocity for us here. You can see that the velocity not too strong. That is a good sign for us here. It's a lot more inconsistent once again, so this tornado warning once again is radar indicated. We don't have any video, we don't have any photos of it, but the radar was indicating that rotation, strong enough rotation that this warning was to be issued until 5 o'clock. So with these winds not quite being a little bit more consistent across the board, that does lead me to believe it is one of the more weaker tornadoes when it comes to the enhanced Fujita scale, either EF0 or EF1. Still something to be taken seriously, though, in regards to damage. You can see damage to the rooftops, trees, windows, siding, to the cars, to mobile homes especially as well. But again, if you are in the line of this shower, you're going to want to head inside and seek shelter until it passes on by for us here. And you can see, again, heavy torrential rain across portions of the region, extending from Galway further to the east as you get towards Greenfield, and even as far north as just to the south of Corinth for us here. In Galway, we actually got a storm report of 1.5 inches in diameter of hail. So pretty big hail there. You guys want to head inside and seek shelter until this does pass on by through the region here. So right now, you just noticed actually as well the severe thunderstorm warning that was in effect for Fulton and Saratoga County has now expired, but the tornado warning remains in effect now until 5 o'clock. We're still going to be staying on air until this warning comes down for us here. The good news for us, like we said, is that the velocity is starting to show some inconsistency, meaning that it is starting to generally weaken for us there, but still heavy rain falling across the region. We are still getting reports of large hail. This storm is no joke. If you are caught in the path of this, especially if you are in the warning area, you want to head inside and seek shelter. If you are in a two-story home and you have a basement, you want to get to the basement and seek shelter until this warning expires. If you are in a first-floor home and don't have the basement, you want to get to a windowless room, whether that is a hallway closet, maybe even just the bathroom. You just want to make sure there's no windows, anything like that, where if something was to hit a window or break through the door, you would be okay where you are. So again, we're going to be staying on air until this warning comes down. Again, the viewer life is more important than what we have going on the air here. So again, that tornado warning is in effect for just Saratoga County now. And we are seeing ping pong ball size hail in some reports there. So what we can be seeing in regards to an impact is that flying debris will be dangerous for those caught without shelter. Some mobile homes will be damaged or destroyed depending on where exactly we're caught. If you get caught in that tornado itself, or even in some of these wind gusts, we are seeing reports of 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. We could see damage to roofs, windows, and vehicles are going to be very likely to occur, and tree damage is also looking extremely likely out there. You can still see that heavy rain across the region. We're going to take a look once again at our velocity. And you can still see the good sign here is that green, not looking quite as strong as what we saw before. The red looking really strong for us here. So that tornado warning looking a lot more weak for us here as we continue to get closer towards the end period of this tornado warning. Again, most likely what we have been seeing was radar indicated. We'll give you a loop of what we have seen over the past few hours. You can see that storm came in pretty strong when we first started out. I'll kind of back it up for you a little bit here. It was pretty strong when it first started out. It's starting to weaken a little bit more. You'll notice even the rotation of that storm starting to generally weaken here as well. So that is a good sign for us here, especially for those in that tornado warning. But still seeing that sign of heavy rain with strong wind gusts, with wind gusts still up to 60 miles per hour. And of course, we are still seeing still some large hail across portions of the area. Just to the north of Galway here, we have hail that's just over 1/4 of an inch in diameter. So this storm is no joke still, folks. You want to make sure you are inside seeking shelter until this passes on by. We're going to take a look at the shear as well, if we have any strong upper level winds that could help to defer this storm a little bit more, help to break it apart. And really not much shear going on with this here. So we have one little spot where we're seeing relatively light wind shear. So not really much of a good indicator in that regard there, but still seeing that heavy rain as it pushes its way across the region. Tornado warning still in effect until 5 o'clock. We're going to be staying on air. I know it's going to sound pretty tedious and saying the same stuff over and over again, but we want to make sure that you guys are getting the right information here. We're updating you as it comes on through. And again, it's moving east at around 30 miles per hour. So it is going to be getting closer towards Saratoga Springs. In about 10 minutes, we have Wilton in 12, Gilbert Corners in 18, and Burgoyne in 25 minutes. It's actually, speaking of Saratoga Springs, we're going to take a look at that camera one more time because you'll notice once again now, rain is actually starting to fall in Saratoga Springs. This storm has been steadily working its way closer and closer to this spot. You notice that visibility has continued to drop further in that background for us there Some pockets of heavier rain still steadily falling across portions of Saratoga County as this line of showers continues to push its way into our region. Conditions are pretty favorable today for any signs of severe thunderstorms. We do have that severe thunderstorm watch in effect for our whole viewing area until 9 o'clock this evening. With that, we do still see the chance for a few more pop-up showers, some showing some signs of rotation. But again, the big thing right now is that we have that tornado warning in effect until 5 o'clock for Saratoga County as we are continuing to work on through this system. We still have about 10 more minutes for this warning to be in effect. We've seen some pretty good indicators that the signs that like to keep those tornadoes around are starting to break apart a little bit more, but still something very serious. You want to make sure you are heading back inside, seeking shelter from the storm, again, getting to the basement or a windowless room if you do not have a basement in your home. We're going to toss things back over to Christina.
Thanks, Reed. Taking a look here again, we have to stay on air for this tornado warning. That's how serious it is until 5 o'clock p.m. So if you're living in a house and you don't have a basement, be sure to get, like Reed said, into a windowless room, as we can make sure that it's definitely an important place to try to be safe during these type of circumstances. Now, taking a look here, this is one of our spotter reports that just came in. I believe Reed just mentioned it in Saratoga County. In Galway, we can see the time of the report was about 4:32 p.m. and that's hail size about 1.5 inches. It's about ping pong ball size for this storm, the severe thunderstorm that is causing this tornado warning in Saratoga County. Definitely not something to joke about. Be sure to head to the basement. There can be flying debris outside that can cause damage to your vehicles as well as your house, roofs, siding, trees. Definitely be sure to stay inside because that's going to be a very important thing. Now, taking a look at our storm tracks for where this tornadic thunderstorm is heading in Saratoga County, heading towards Snake Hill in the next couple of minutes, 4:51 p.m., as well as towards Saratoga County by 5 p.m. and towards Greenwich by 5:11 p.m. Definitely not something to joke about. Be sure to stay inside until this tornado warning is finished because it's definitely something that you want to be sure to be safe inside your home because there can be flying debris as well as very strong winds. And now we were talking about our first warning velocity here. And again, we're talking about how this shows the wind coming towards and away from the radar. And that's how we can indicate rotation on our radar to help us figure out if there's rotation in this storm to indicate a tornado. And we can see here, we're not seeing anything too strong with the rotation here. If we saw a little bit more rotation, there'd be much brighter green and brighter red colors. But this is definitely still not something to joke about. And we'll be continuing to give more and more updates as we head throughout the next couple of minutes until this warning is finished. Now, taking a look here again, where the storm is heading towards Quaker Springs by 5 o'clock p.m. Again, Saratoga, you're not in the clear. Definitely be aware. This is going to be a very dangerous storm with some high winds. And even if it does not produce a tornado or we do not get affected in any way, even if we do get an EF0 tornado, you can see some very heavy rain and some torrential downpours. And since it's moving not very quickly, we also can see some localized flash flooding. So definitely be aware of all of the threats that can come with this storm. Definitely stay inside and be sure to keep updated. Reed's going to give you a little bit more of an update on any new updates that we have on the storm. Reed.
Yeah, Christina, the big thing I want to actually talk about right now is we did have that severe thunderstorm warning actually come down. And the other thing that we haven't noticed is this tornado warning's been in effect for quite some time. It hasn't quite been, a new one hasn't been issued yet, and it hasn't been pushed further to the east. So that's a good indicator that what we have going on is continuing to weaken, and this warning is going to end at 5 o'clock, and we will not see anything extend after that from the looks of it right now. That's good news for us there. We're going to take a look one more time. CDPHP first warning cam 2 for us here. And we are going to be continuing to see some of that rain falling a little bit more steady, visibility continuing to drop as you look further out to the west in that camera shot there. We are still getting reports of some strong thunder and lightning again, although this is now no longer a severe thunderstorm warning. This storm still packing quite a punch with some heavy rain, thunder and lightning, some strong wind gusts of around 60 miles per hour. And we are going to take a look back at the radar now. We'll take a look at the velocity. And still, right around where this is, you can see, like Christina was talking about, not a very big difference when it comes to very strong velocity here. And that's a good sign of what's moving away and towards the radar here. So what we most likely have, if anything did touch down again, this was radar indicated. So we don't have any photos or videos of this. Was an EF0 or EF1. Still enough to quite to cause some damage to some rooftops, to some windows, to trees, to some mobile homes, and to some cars, especially with the hail as well. We'll take a look at the hail that we have right now, and the good news is nothing's really popping up here in regards to hail on the radar, but still keeping that in mind because it has still been sticking around for quite a bit. Heavy rain still continuing to fall at the very cusp of this warning for us here. We're going to continue to track itself here one more time. We'll go right to the squall line for us, and we're going to track where this line of showers is going to be heading for us here. And we are going to be seeing Saratoga Hospital right about now, Saratoga Springs in 2 minutes, Gilbert Corners in about 10 minutes. We have Burgoyne in 18, and we have Saratoga in 25 minutes. We have some reports of some wind damage in Galway. We also have a 1-foot wide tree that was snapped at Jockey Street and at Galway Road, so a good indicator of just how strong the storm is in and of itself. Another big thing here to point out, you just saw the yellow light up here on the screen. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning that was just issued from now until 6 o'clock, and this is for Saratoga, Warren, and Washington County. What we've been seeing, this is still the same line of thunderstorms here, moving east at 30 miles per hour. We're seeing that hazard of 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. That's definitely enough to cause some damage to roofs, to sidings, and to the trees. And some areas of impact are going to be including Saratoga Springs, Glens Falls, Hudson Falls, Salem, Milton, Ballston Spa, Fort Edward, and a couple of other spots here as well. So we're going to track this one for you one more time as well, and we are going to be seeing where this is going to be heading for us here. Pretty strong storm for us here, bringing quite a punch, and Christina had mentioned this is moving pretty slow for 30 miles per hour. Heavy rain, that is enough to cause some localized flash flooding. If you're in one of those spots, you're going to want to keep that in mind here. We have Wayville in about 4 minutes. 10 minutes it'll be reaching Saratoga. Northumberland in about 12 minutes. Greenwich in 22 minutes, and we have West Cambridge in 28. But again, the big thing right now, in addition to this severe thunderstorm warning just being issued, we still have our tornado warning that is in effect until 5 o'clock. The good news that we've been talking about here so far, a good indicator for us, is that this is only until 5 o'clock. We only have about 4 to 3 more minutes of this being in effect. That warning has not shifted further eastward. A lot of the good indicating signs that we had for that tornado have started to break apart a little bit more, especially in regards to velocity for us here. That velocity not looking pretty consistent across the board. It is looking significantly weaker. That is a good sign for us there in regards to the strength of a tornado as it pushes its way out of this warning spot and starts to head into our severe thunderstorm warning spot as we get closer towards Saratoga Springs. We'll take a look at the CDPHP first warning cam out in Saratoga Springs. You can see that rain falling down much heavier now, and you can see visibility continuing to drop. Those raindrops looking actually pretty big as they are continuing to fall. They've already seen just over, it's just shy of about 1/4 of an inch, between 1/10 to 1/4 of an inch of rain within this very short time frame of it starting out there. We'll go back over to the radar. You can see heavy rain falling across this whole shower as it's working its way across the region here. We did have the reports of hail, and again, the big concern with this has been the wind gusts as well. In addition to this tornado warning, it was radar indicated. We don't have any pictures or videos of it, but we are also getting the reports of those 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. And like we said, we had a 1-foot wide tree that was snapped at Jockey Street and Galway Road, and Galway also having a lot of damage from this storm as it passes on by. You can see that stronger shower just to the south of Galway as well. But again, tornado warning still in effect for 2 more minutes now until 5 o'clock for Saratoga County. This thunderstorm is bringing quite a punch. A lot of heavy rain, torrential heavy rain. Wind gusts around 60 miles per hour, moving pretty slowly at around 30 miles per hour. And it's going to continue to work its way eastward across the region here. So in 4 minutes, Malta will be seeing that. Wayville in 11, Saratoga in 16, Schuylerville will be seeing this in 19 minutes, Greenwich in about a half an hour from now. Again, you want to make sure that you are heading inside and seeking shelter until this storm passes on by, especially if you are in the spot with that tornado warning. Still about for a minute now, you need to be making sure you are taking shelter, getting to that windowless room until this warning is set to expire for us here as this storm continues to push eastward. But still a strong thunderstorm working its way to the east now, and it's still packing quite a punch with 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. We're going to zoom on out, give you a view of the whole viewing area now. You can see we do have a line of showers off to our west as you get closer towards Utica and Herkimer County. Some scattered showers there. We're going to be watching those for their intensity, see if anything's going to be strengthening. We do have a few more showers just starting to work their way into our region in Montgomery County. But for right now, the main storm that we are focusing on is this one that is in Saratoga County, starting to push into Warren and Washington County, bringing that torrential rain, 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts, and even hail at some point. And again, that tornado warning still in effect for at least the next minute or so here before it is set to expire. That is good news for us there. And the tornado warning is now down. That is good news for us there, but we still have that severe thunderstorm warning in effect. That is going to be remaining in effect until 6 o'clock now for Saratoga, Warren, Washington County. Again, the main concern with this one is we are seeing 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. So we're going to track this for you one more time. And you can see that it's moving east at 30 miles per hour. And we are going to be seeing that reaching Saratoga in about 4 minutes, Argyle in 11, Greenwich in 13, Jackson in 21 minutes, and Salem in 24 minutes. So thank you, everybody, for bearing with us as we got through this severe thunderstorm warning and tornado warning. With that warning now expired and you now knowing about this severe thunderstorm warning still continuing to push its way to the east, we're going to still be continuing to keep a close eye on that and update you on any new developments later on this evening. We are now going to return you back to your regular programming.
Breaking news. Severe weather coverage with First Warning 13.
Good evening, everybody. We are cutting back into programming once again because we have another tornado warning that is in effect across our region here. We're going to take a look at the radar right now and see where this is for. This is still from that one line of showers earlier on that prompted that tornado warning that we saw earlier on. This is for southeastern Saratoga County as well as southern Washington County. This is until 5:45 p.m. What we are seeing here, this was radar indicated rotation. So at the moment, we do not have any video or picture proof that there is a tornado on the ground right now. The radar is just indicating strong enough rotation to prompt that tornado warning. So the main thing that you need to do right now if you are in the warning zone is you need to head to a windowless room. If you have a basement, go to the basement. If you are in a house that does not have a basement, you want to go to the first floor to a windowless room, whether that's a hallway closet, and seek shelter immediately until this storm passes on by. We are seeing reports of quarter-size hail as well. This is moving northeast at 45 miles per hour. So we're going to take a look here first at the velocity for this storm. We're going to see where we're seeing that sign of rotation, and you can see that rotation already where we're seeing those brightest of greens and reds is right around near Malta. And what this means for us here, these greens and red, this is the speed of the winds as things approaching the radar and moving away from the radar. So what we have going on here is some 17-mile-an-hour winds in one direction, 22 miles per hour in the other direction. So that is pretty favorable right now for that tornado formation. So we're going to be keeping a close eye on the spot, especially if you are over Malta. Head inside right now and seek shelter until this passes on by. We're going to put this back over onto the radar. We are going to continue to track this now. Like we said, it is moving northeast at 45 miles per hour. So we're going to update the tracker for us here, and we're going to see that northeast at 45 miles per hour. We're going to be seeing that tornado getting closer towards the Saratoga Lake Golf Club by 5:18, by Wayville by 5:21, 5:22 it'll be at Ketchum's Corners, 5:24 it'll be at Bemis Heights. Again, if you are in this spot, head inside, seek shelter immediately until this passes on by. This tornado warning is prompted from a severe thunderstorm warning that we do have in effect for portions of our region here. This is for parts of southeastern Warren County, northeastern Saratoga, and southern Washington County. That's still in effect until 6 o'clock this evening, but our tornado warning right now, the main concern, is in effect until 5:45 p.m. What you need to do, again, if you are in the spot, seek shelter immediately and wait until this warning comes to an end for us here. We'll take a look at the hail because we were getting some reports of hail. Good news is nothing's really popping up on the radar in regards to that, but we are still seeing reports of quarter-size hail. This thunderstorm, in addition to the tornado warning, is providing 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. That is damage, strong enough for damage that could lead to parts of the roof being damaged, windows, tree limbs, damage to the vehicles occurring, as well as damage to mobile homes occurring as well. So again, that tornado warning in effect until 5:45 p.m. You can see heavy torrential rain from this as it continues to pass over the Malta region and even up a little further north towards Wayville. You want to head inside, seek shelter till this passes on by. We'll zoom on in. You can kind of see this hook echo here, a good indicator for where we are seeing that rotation on this storm. And again, what we have going on here is this is radar indicated. We do not have any video or photo proof that we have a tornado on the ground. Some pretty favorable shear in that spot as well, so that is a good indicator of that tornado on the ground. Heavy torrential rain is going to cause some reduced visibility. So again, if you know anybody outside in these regions, make sure you are giving them a call, giving them a text, telling them to get inside and seek shelter until this storm passes on by and until this warning passes on by here as well. Again, in effect until 5:45 p.m. We're going to be staying on the air until this storm and until this tornado warning comes to an end. Viewer life is more important than what we have going on the air right now. The safety of your neighbors is what we are concerned on here. So we are going to continue to track this system as it pushes its way further to the north and east now. So we will track it one more time for you here, give you an idea on where it is heading as we update again just how fast this is going to be going. This is going northeast at right around 45 miles per hour for us here. So we are going to clear this out one more time and try that again. 45 mile per hour direction to the northeast. So this is moving a lot faster than the previous one that we had. But still, that torrential rain is enough to cause some localized flash flooding. This is going to be reaching Easton in about 16 minutes, Archdale in 20, North Cambridge in 25 minutes, and Mary McClellan Hospital in about 29 minutes for us here. And we are going to continue to track this for us here. You can still see that heavy rain. We'll take another look one more time at the velocity that we have going on. That velocity looking very strong now. There's some very bright green 34-mile-an-hour winds just to the east of Malta. So another good indicator that we do have some tornado rotation in the storm. Again, no video or photo proof that we have one outside on the ground. We're going to toss things over to meteorologist Christina Talamo for a more update on what we have going on outside there. Christina.
Thanks, Reed. Definitely need to worry about this tornado warning. Again, not a joke. So we will be on until 5:45 p.m. because I definitely do care the most about the safety of your family. So if you are outside or you know anybody who's traveling, try to get to a sturdy place in your home. If you don't have a basement, definitely avoid all windows as well. You definitely don't want to be outside during what is happening here. Now, taking a look at our tornado warning here, it expires at 5:45 p.m. issued for Saratoga and Washington counties. Now, this is pretty much that same storms that has been pushing through. So let's take a look at some of the damage that we've seen. Some damage reports from this storm. It has very strong winds passing through the area currently moving about east around 45 miles per hour. So it's moving a bit faster now, but this storm is going to be continuing to cause some heavy rainfall as well. So definitely be aware we can see some localized flash flooding with these torrential heavy downpours. Now taking a look right here at 4:44 p.m. thunderstorm wind damage in Saratoga at Galway. We had a 1-foot diameter tree snapped in half. So that's one of our storm reports, as well as some more thunderstorm wind damage in Lake Desolation. We had some wires knocked down. So these storms are producing very strong winds, as well as the storm that is producing this tornado warning. We've seen a lot of stronger storms heading into later today. This is our second tornado warning. So definitely be aware. We need to keep worrying about anything we do not know for sure if there is a tornado on the ground right now. but we are definitely looking because it is radar indicated. We have seen some rotation, so definitely be aware of that. We're also seeing this is our severe thunderstorm warning as well that is also issued until 6 o'clock p.m. for Saratoga, Warren, and Washington County. So that's something to definitely be aware of, as well as we have some stronger storms pushing through the area. Hail as well, as we had 1.5 inches in Galway earlier on, and we're going to be continuing to see some hail with these stronger storms, as well as with the storm that is producing this tornado warning here. And as we can see here again, for Saratoga and Washington counties until 5:45 p.m. we have this tornado warning, and we're seeing some rotation here. So let's take a look at that velocity signature. Now again, when we talk about the velocity, we're talking about these bright green is going to be those winds that are going towards the radar, and this bright red is those winds going away from the radar. So we're seeing these bright colors here. That's indicating some pretty decent rotation. Reed was just talking about how we did see some pretty strong rotation earlier on. It looks like it didn't update just yet, but Reed will have some more updates for sure on when we can see the rotation, as well as any more updates on the radar signature of the storm. Reed?
Yeah, Christina, the big thing I want to point out, we were just talking about that velocity. The last tornado warning that we had didn't look as promising in regards to the rotation as what we are seeing currently on the radar with the one that we have in effect right now. I'll look at the first warning velocity. You can see this just updated for us here. That bright green and dark red is a pretty good indicator of that rotation. I'm going to point to that right around there where that arrow is pointing here. This is for areas to the east of Malta. So if you know anybody in this spot, make sure you are reaching out, telling them to get inside, seek shelter until the storm passes on by. You can see right around this too, very heavy torrential rain. This storm is moving a lot faster than the past one, as well as moving northeast at 45 miles per hour. So we're going to track this one once again as it heads further northeast. So we're going to be at Saratoga National Historical Park by around 5:30, 5:34. It'll be in Easton as it continues to push its way to the north and east. That hook echo still looking pretty promising right now, where you can kind of see that hook in the radar signature as this storm system continues to push its way to the north and east. We are still getting reports of 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts as well, so this storm is packing quite the punch across the region here as it continues to move further to the north and east. A little further north, you can see we do have some heavier rain still falling, but that main area of concern right now is areas just to the east of Malta, and now as it is getting closer towards Easton, you can see those pockets of darker red, that heavy rain starting to work its way into the region, and as well as the chance for some hail in there as well. We're going to take a look at some of our hail reports here from the storm. Nothing's popping up on the radar at the moment. That is a good sign for us there. We'll also take a look once again at the shear. We do still have some favorable shear in the environment, right around 18 miles per hour in regards to that tornado rotation that we are seeing, and the velocity still looking a lot more promising than what we had seen earlier on this evening, right around that 17-mile-an-hour range. So again, if you know anybody in this spot, you want them to head inside, seek shelter immediately. If you want to make sure you take cover now, you move to the basement or an interior room on the lowest floor of your house. Avoid the windows. If you are outdoors or in a mobile home or in a vehicle even, you want to make sure you move to the closest substantial shelter and protect yourself from any flying debris that you do see. We did get reports from the storm system earlier on, snapping some trees as it pushed on through the region. And you can continue to see this storm is still not quite done with us just yet. Some heavy rain with that tornado warning. We'll take a look at how long that's in effect once again for us here until 5:45 p.m. for Saratoga, southeastern Saratoga County and southern Washington County until 5:45 p.m. Again, this was radar indicated. We do not have any pictures or video of this being on the ground as it continues to push its way throughout the course of our region here. It's moving faster than the last one, but still, heavy torrential rain could lead to some localized flash flooding in these spots if you are especially in a flood-prone area. We're going to track it for you once again as it continues to move further to the north and east at that speed of 45 miles per hour. Right around here is where we're seeing the reports of that tornado. So we're going to get this right up to speed for us here. And this is going to be getting to Easton in about 11 minutes, West Cambridge in 15 minutes, 18 minutes it'll be at North Cambridge, Cambridge in 22 minutes, and Jackson in about 25 minutes. We're going to take a look at our CDPHP first morning camera here. Christina switched it around for us here as that storm continues to push away. You can see how ominous it kind of looks. There is a little bit of some rain on the camera, but it's still looking pretty formidable right now, as we are still seeing signs of that heavy rain continuing to fall across portions of Saratoga County and into Washington County as well shortly here. So, but again, our main concern is just to the south of Saratoga Springs as you are closer towards Malta, heading closer towards Stillwater here. That tornado warning in effect until 5:45 p.m. We do actually have a confirmed report of a tornado near the Malta Medical Center. That was broadcast over the county emergency radio. No confirmation on the report just yet. So there is a report of tornado. Not confirmed if it's on the ground. Again, right now what we have been seeing is rotation on the radar. So if we do get any word of any photo or video proof that we have that tornado on the ground, we will give word to you on that, as we are going to continue to stay on the air until this warning expires. Again, the lives of our viewers and your neighbors are much more important than what is going on air right now. So we have 5:45 p.m. that tornado warning staying in effect. We're going to track it once more for us here in the cone. 45 miles per hour to the northeast. That's going to be getting closer towards Stillwater in a minute. Easton in 9, West Cambridge in 13, Cambridge in 20 minutes, and Jackson in 24 minutes. We'll go back to a look at the velocity, see if anything's really changed. You can tell already the green, pretty good indicator of some pretty strong velocity here. Very bright just to the north of Stillwater there. That is a pretty strong sign of some rotation in this system. We're going to zoom on in a little bit more here towards this spot and just check out some of the speeds that we are seeing here. Again, that green pretty strong as we are looking at winds right around 16 miles per hour, 15 miles per hour going the other opposite direction as well, and 30 miles per hour even a couple spots here. So the wind's starting to become a little bit more inconsistent. That's a good indicator of weakening, but still this is much more promising looking in regards to that rotation than what we saw just a few minutes ago earlier on this evening. We're going to go back to a look at the radar for us here. You can kind of see that hook echo just to the east of Stillwater. That is a good indicator of our severe thunderstorm warning here and that tornado warning that we have going on. We can continue to see it. Weather spotters have actually reported, just getting this information new right now. Christina has handed me the papers that a weather spotter has reported a funnel cloud in the region there. So if you are in this spot, make sure you are heading inside and seeking shelter immediately. Take cover now, move to the basement or to an interior room on the lowest floor or of a sturdy building. Make sure you are avoiding the windows. If you are outdoors or in a mobile home or in a vehicle, make sure you are moving to the closest structure that is substantial and able to protect yourself from any flying debris. So we do have reports of a funnel cloud in the area from this storm system as it continues to push its way further to the north and east. This storm is no joke. Make sure you are heading inside and seeking shelter until the storm passes on by. We're going to track it one more time. This is very important for us here. For those of you across the region, it's going to be getting towards Stillwater in about 2 minutes. Crandall Corners, 10 minutes. Make sure you guys are taking shelter now. Easton, you have a little bit more time, 14 minutes. West Cambridge, in about 20 minutes, it's going to be heading your way. North Cambridge, in about 25 minutes, this storm system is going to be reaching you. Again, everybody, we have that severe thunderstorm warning that has prompted a tornado warning for parts of our area. That severe thunderstorm warning is until 6 o'clock for Saratoga, Warren, and Washington County. Our tornado warning is in effect until 5:45 p.m. for what we have here is southeastern Saratoga and southern Washington counties as this continues to move to the north and east. So we're going to zoom on out a little bit here so you can kind of get an idea of the whole scope of the storm. It is pretty large, but again, all that heavy torrential rain is focused in the southernmost spot of this warning here, and we are seeing some torrential heavy rain falling there. We are getting reports of some heavy rain and even some hail in a couple spots. 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts are possible throughout the whole area of this thunderstorm, so it's not just the area with the tornado warning that could see some strong wind damage here, but the main concern now is that tornado warning, and that is closer towards just to the east of Stillwater at the moment in regards to that rotation. We'll go back to a look at the velocity. You can see that bright green showing a good indication that we do have a tornado in that spot thanks to the rotation of this storm system here. We'll take a look at the shear as well, see if it's in a favorable shear environment. It is pretty close to a pretty favorable shear environment. So this tornado is no joke. If you do know anybody in the spot, please make sure you are heading inside and seeking shelter until this storm passes on by. We are about halfway through this warning now. This warning still remains in effect until 5:45 p.m. So make sure you are heeding our warnings here, heading inside, seeking shelter. And if you know anybody in this area, you are reaching out to them, making sure that they are in an okay and safe spot. So once again, you can see that heavy rain continuing to fall. Steady here. We'll go back to the cone. We're going to track where this is heading as it continues to move northeast at around 45 miles per hour. So in Easton, in about 9 minutes, we'll be seeing this storm. West Cambridge in 13, North Cambridge in 16 minutes, Cambridge in 21 minutes. We have Jackson in about 24 minutes. We'll be reaching this severe thunderstorm warning for us here. We're going to zoom on in a little bit closer to where we are seeing signs of this rotation. We're going to go in a little bit closer towards Stillwater. As we get closer towards Stillwater, you're kind of going to notice a little bit of this storm kind of juts out a little bit. That's what we call a hook echo. It's a good indicator for any signs of tornado rotation in severe thunderstorms. So hook echo still sticking around there. We're going to take a look at the velocity. Once again, it's still looking very strong in this spot. It's looking much more favorable than the previous tornado warning we had earlier this evening. We're getting some very strong winds going to the radar, going in and out of the radar right around there. And you can actually tell here we just extended that tornado warning a little bit further to our south here. So I'm going to put this back on the radar, and we're going to zoom on out a little bit more so we can see where this is now encapsulating here. So that tornado warning has now extended further south. We're going to take a look at the new information here as it comes in. This is now extended into southeastern Saratoga County, southern Washington County, northern Rensselaer County until 6 o'clock for us here. What we have was a confirmed tornado located near Mechanicville, moving east at 40 miles per hour. What we are looking at here is the damaging tornado winds and quarter-size hail. Again, what you need to do if you are in this spot is you need to take cover now. Move to the basement or interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building. Avoid windows. If you are in the outdoors, make sure or in a mobile home or in a vehicle, you are moving to the closest substantial shelter and protecting yourself from any flying debris. So again, we have reports of a confirmed tornado that was located near Mechanicville, moving east at 40 miles per hour. So again, we're going to be tracking this right now. We are staying on the air for you until this warning expires. The lives of your neighbors and the viewers around you are much more important than what was previously on air here. So we are here giving you the latest details as it comes on through for us here. So we're going to clear on out of this. We're going to take a closer look at where this is going to be heading here, moving east at 40 miles per hour. Again, you want to make sure you are seeking shelter until this passes on by. We're going to continue to see this eastward movement on this storm system now. This storm, again, not a joke at all. This whole storm itself prompting 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts, too. So if you are not even in the tornado warning, you want to make sure you're seeking shelter until the storm passes on by. But in about 12 minutes, South Cambridge is going to be seeing this tornado warning come close by to it. East Buskirk in about 15. Hoosick Falls in 22 minutes, and White Creek in about 25, just over 25 minutes away from now. We'll zoom on in a little bit closer, and we're going to take a closer look at where we are now in regards to this tornado warning. You'd see right around here, located by Mechanicville. You can see just right around Stillwater, we have that hook echo. So that is right where we are seeing this confirmed tornado. So people living in Stillwater, seek shelter now until this storm passes on by. You can see some fairly strong velocity moving in and out of this area here. where we are seeing that bright green and darker shades of red. Make sure you're moving inside, seeking shelter immediately until this warning passes and until the storm passes on by out of your region. We'll take a look at the chance for hail here too. We are still getting some reports of strong hail. Remember, in the spots close to the tornado, we often have reduced visibility thanks to some hail and some heavy torrential rain. So you might not see anything, but it doesn't mean that it's not there. So that is why we are stressing the importance right now of getting inside and seeking shelter. We are looking at hails just over 1/4 of an inch in diameter right to the north of Stillwater right now. So make sure you are seeking shelter. That hail's still big enough to cause some damage to some tree limbs, to the house, to the roof, to some siding, as well as maybe some windows into some vehicles here. So again, the first warning live Doppler radar showing some strong heavy rain. We have that tornado warning in effect until 6 o'clock now for portions of our region. That would be southeastern Saratoga County, southern Washington County, and northern Rensselaer County until 6 o'clock because of the fact that we have a confirmed tornado that was located near Mechanicville moving east at 40 miles per hour. This is no joke. Everybody make sure you are heading inside and seeking shelter if you do live in these spots for us here. Again, heavy torrential rain surrounding this as well as some decent sized hail. So reduced visibility is a possibility as we get closer to that tornado getting towards your region here. So we're going to go back to the cone. Like we said, it is moving east at 45 miles per hour for us here. So we're going to kind of get this off the screen. South Cambridge, right around 13 miles per hour. East Buskirk, 13 minutes. 17 minutes for East Buskirk. Hoosick Junction in 23 minutes. And we have in about half hour or two, it's going to continue to head further to the west for us here. We're going to go back to the cone and do another track for us here. We're going to update the winds on this one. And we're going to see how this goes here. So we are continuing to move east. And in about the next 20 minutes, it's going to be going to Millertown by 5:43, South Cambridge by 5:45, East Buskirk by 5:48, Eagle Bridge by 5:50, and 5:54 will be at Hoosick Falls. Once again, we're going to take a look at our CDPHP first warning cam out in Saratoga Springs. It was looking pretty dark and ominous there earlier, and you can see now it's still looking fairly dark and ominous on that CDPHP first warning cam, but if we don't see it or not, it's okay. We are seeing that heavy rain is continuing to push further to the east right now, and as we are seeing here on the radar, heavy torrential rain. We do have that tornado warning in effect. That was a confirmed tornado located near Mechanicville moving east at 40 miles per hour. We're going to get some more information now on this from meteorologist Christina Talamo. Christina.
Thanks, Reed. Now, as Reed just said, if you're just tuning in right now, we do have a confirmed tornado located near Mechanicville, currently moving east at approximately 40 miles per hour. Definitely be aware if you know anybody near the area, be sure to get inside. You want to get to the lowest point of your house. If you don't have a basement, be sure to get into a room that does not have any windows. You do not want to be outside. This is something to take very seriously as we have observed funnel clouds as well as a confirmed tornado by spotters. Taking a look outside at our CDPHP first warning cam in Saratoga Springs facing east. It's looking pretty ominous out there. We're seeing some really interesting clouds, and as we can see here, that's facing our tornado warning. So taking a look right now, our tornado warning, this currently is till extended a little bit. This is for Saratoga and Washington currently, but if we zoom in a little bit, let's see exactly where this storm that is capable of producing this tornado is heading currently around 5:36 p.m. Schaghticoke, as well as for the next couple of minutes as well, heading in towards North Bennington by around 6 o'clock p.m. That's in about 20 minutes. So if you or know anyone who lives in any of these areas in Stratton or Jamaica or Wardsboro, definitely be aware of that, because this tornado, as well as this, even if you don't see the tornado, we can see these really heavy rainfall as well as these strong gusty winds. So this is definitely something not to joke about. You definitely want to be inside and be aware of what is coming for you if you know anybody near the area. And taking a look right here, we're seeing this rotation right now, and that's the rotation of that tornado. And let's take a look a little bit as we can see here. We also have this severe thunderstorm warning for pretty much the same area, as well as this severe thunderstorm, as Reed said, is producing some torrential downpours. So some heavy rainfall, can see some flash flooding as well. Again, it's moving a little bit quicker at around 40 miles per hour as it heads east. But for the most part, we can still see some very heavy rain, as well as these very strong gusty winds, especially with this tornado. Now, taking a look at our first warning velocity, we're talking about, I know Reed was talking about our velocity signature here. The brighter these green and these red colors here, that's showing the more rotation there is. So we're seeing some pretty strong rotation here, as we can see heading into where that tornado was pretty much located, as well as we're seeing some hail maybe about ½ inch in diameter right now in Stillwater. So if you know anybody near these areas, definitely be aware. You want to get to the lowest portion of your house. Be sure to not be outside, and be sure to stay inside until we can see that this tornado warning is ended and we can see that this tornado is no longer an issue. I'll send it back to Reed for any updates on the radar. Reed.
Yeah, Christina, the big thing here is we have the reports of a confirmed tornado on the ground. So if you are in the spot, you want to make sure you are heading inside and seeking shelter until this passes on by, whether that's in the basement. If you don't have the basement, you're on the first floor of your house in a windowless room until this passes on by. So once again, here's a look at the first warning live Doppler radar. You can see we have a pretty good hook echo here, which is a good sign of that rotation in the storm. Just to the east of Stillwater, now to the north of Schaghticoke, a good sign of that rotation right there, where that darker shade of red and even orange starts to wrap around here. Good sign of that rotation there from that tornado warning that we do have in effect. We're going to take a look once again at the velocity, still looking very strong right now at this hour here, 21 miles per hour. Around 19 miles an hour. And this is the winds moving towards and away from the radar. So winds pretty close like this is a good sign that it is still going pretty strong at the moment. And we'll also take a look at the hail. Once again, like Christina was just showing here, hail is still showing up at right around ½ inch in diameter, and maybe even a little bit bigger in a couple of spots here, right around the Stillwater area, approaching Crandall Corners, just to the south of Burmis Heights. So if you are in these spots, make sure you're heading inside, seeking shelter immediately until this storm passes on by and until this tornado warning comes to an end. Again, this tornado warning in effect until 6 o'clock for southeastern Saratoga County, southern Washington County, northern Rensselaer County until 6 o'clock. And we are going to be staying on the air until this warning expires again. The lives of your neighbors and your family members, those living all around you, are more important than what is going on, what was previously on air right now. The focus is this tornado warning as it continues to push its way throughout the region. It is moving faster than the last one that we had within the last hour or so here. We have seeing it move right around 40 miles per hour to the northeast. So let's track it one more time here. We'll give ourselves an updated look at where this is heading, and we are going to be seeing it reach West Cambridge in about 21 minutes, Center Cambridge in about 24 minutes. We're going to kind of zoom on out here and give ourselves more of a zoomed out view of the storm. The good news so far for us here is we did have the severe thunderstorm warning. That has now since been canceled, but that tornado warning is going to continue for portions of southern Washington and extreme southeast Saratoga counties, as well as Rensselaer County for us here. So tornado warning still in effect now. We are staying on the air for about another 15 or so minutes until this warning is set to expire right now. But again, this is no joke. We had a confirmed tornado on the ground, so you need to take cover now. If you live in this area, you need to move to a basement or to an interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building. Avoid the windows. If you're outdoors in a mobile home or in a vehicle, you want to move to the closest substantial shelter and protect yourself from any flying debris. In addition to the tornado warning, this thunderstorm itself has been giving us some 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts, so pretty strong as it continues to push its way across the region here. Something to keep in mind at the moment, and I'm not too sure if we have any more storm reports at the moment from this one itself. All the storm reports still looking to be off to our west, so no signs of any damage yet, but I'm sure we are going to be seeing some reports pop up later on from this storm. Again, looking very strong right now as you are near Stillwater and Schaghticoke, that hook echo where that yellow and red starts to wrap around here. That is a good indicator of where we are seeing that rotation in this storm. So if you're just to the north of Schaghticoke, or if you know anybody just to the north of Schaghticoke, make sure that they are seeking shelter immediately until this passes on by. We're going to take a look once again at our velocity, see if we've seen any changes in it over the past few minutes as the radar continues to update for us here. And right now the winds moving in and out are still fairly close to each other at this moment, so that rotation is still going pretty strong at this moment. No real sign of any weakening just yet. We'll also take a look at the sign at our chance for some shear here if it's in a favorable environment. The answer to that is yes. It is still in a pretty favorable environment in regards to shear. Hail still being a problem in a couple spots here, right around near Stillwater. You see those diameters are pretty close to 1/2 of an inch for us here. Good news for us here is that northern tornado warning looks like it has just expired. So right now what we have in effect is our tornado warning that's in effect for Rensselaer, Saratoga, and Washington County until 6 o'clock. That is southeastern Saratoga County, southern Washington County, and northern Rensselaer County until 6 o'clock this evening. So we are, again, staying on the air until this warning comes to an end. The importance of you and your livelihood is much more important than what we had on air earlier on here. So we're still looking at some very heavy torrential rain. The system's still moving faster than the last one. This is moving at around 40 miles per hour, but you also need to keep in mind visibility is going to be low near this tornado. We have heavy torrential rain. You have some hail that's around 1/2 of an inch in diameter, and we are seeing some pretty strong wind gusts as well. So visibility is going to be heavily reduced. That is why we are stressing you need to get inside and seek shelter immediately if you are close to this spot just to the north of Schaghticoke here. We're going to track it one more time for you again, see where it's going to be heading here. It's still moving northeast at about 40 miles per hour. So we are going to be seeing that hitting Valley Falls right now. You need to head inside and seek shelter immediately. Johnsonville as well, you have 4 minutes. East Buskirk has 11 minutes, 22 minutes before it reaches White Creek, and afterwards it is still continuing to push its way to the northeast at around 40 miles per hour. Heavy torrential rain, some very strong wind gusts of around 60 miles per hour still associated with this thunderstorm. We do have a severe thunderstorm watch in effect across the region right now until 9 o'clock. We're going to zoom out, give you a view of what we have going on across the region. You can see this is our main area of concern right now, but off to our west, we do have a strong line of thunderstorms starting to develop as we just get into the cusp of our viewing area near Fulton and Montgomery County. That's going to continue to push in here as well. So we're going to have to keep a close eye on that. But again, the main area of concern right now is this one thunderstorm and the tornado warning that we have gotten because of that for parts of Saratoga, Washington, and Rensselaer County until 6 o'clock. So for about another 13 minutes or so, this warning remains in effect. This is for southeastern Saratoga County, southern Washington County, northern Rensselaer County until 6 o'clock. And what we are seeing here is reports of a confirmed tornado that was located near Mechanicville, moving east at 40 miles per hour. You can see we are now past Mechanicville, heading just to the east of Stillwater and south of Easton as it continues to move northeast at 40 miles per hour. We are also getting reports of some quarter-size hail. The hail actually was looking a little bit bigger the last time we checked on it here, so we'll take a look. Already getting hail reports closer towards an inch now on the radar in diameter, so that hail is definitely large enough to cause some damage to the roof, to the siding, to tree limbs, to the vehicle, to the side of the home. So make sure you are inside seeking shelter in these spots here. We're going to go back over to the velocity, see if we've seen any signs of weakening. And so far, based off of what I'm seeing right now already, that does not look very promising for us here. The wind speeds going in and out still looking fairly similar right now at this moment, closer towards around that 10-mile-an-hour range. So the good news is the winds not quite looking as strong in a couple of spots as it was earlier on, but Crandall Corners, Millertown, those areas now, make sure you are inside seeking shelter until this storm passes on by here. Again, a good indicator of where we are seeing this rotation is coming from this hook echo here, where you see these darker reds, these shades of orange and yellow starting to loop around back towards that darker shade of red. That's where we are seeing that rotation in this storm system. That is where we are seeing this tornado on the ground right now. So again, if you are in this area, head inside and seek shelter immediately until it passes on by for us here. And we are going to continue to keep tracking this until this warning expires for us here. We're going to track it one more time here. We're going to go back over to the cone and give you an idea of where this is heading. Still moving northeast at 40 miles per hour. So Dutch Haven Golf Course, if you are near that area, you have about 9 minutes before it gets to you, 10 minutes to East Buskirk. Eagle Bridge in about 13 minutes, White Creek in 22, and Niles School in about 26 minutes. That tornado is going to be closer to that spot right there. Again, when we have a tornado on the ground, the important thing to do is to take cover now. Move to a basement or to the interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building. Make sure you're avoiding the windows. If you're outdoors or in a mobile home or even in a vehicle, make sure you are moving to the closest substantial shelter and protecting yourself from any flying debris. Again, right now here. So we are going to continue to track this one for us here. This warning still remains in effect until 6 o'clock for the following counties for us here. We still have it for Saratoga, southeastern Saratoga County, southern Washington County, northern Rensselaer County, as well as it's staying there until 6 o'clock this evening. And again, confirmed tornado was located near Mechanicville at this point when this was issued, moving east at 40 miles per hour. Flying debris is going to be dangerous to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes are going to be very likely damaged or destroyed if you are caught in the path of this tornado. Damage to the roofs, windows, and vehicles will also occur. Tree damage is also looking very likely for us here with this system. So again, make sure you are inside seeking shelter until this storm passes on by. We're going to go back over to the velocity, see if we've seen any changes so far, and the answer, not really looking like we've seen all too much of a change here. The winds still looking fairly strong and promising in these spots here where we're seeing those darker shades of green and red as what's moving towards and away from the radar is still looking pretty consistent in regards to winds. Shear-wise right now, we still have some pretty favorable shear right around 20 miles per hour for us here. And we are going to continue to see that going on here as well. We're going to go back over to a look at the hail. You can see that hail core has gotten a lot bigger here. A lot more hail moving across the region now, extending just to the north of Crandall Corners and to the east of that, Millertown as well. Areas just to the north of that seeing some stronger hail. That hail still right around a ½ of an inch in diameter. So this hail also no joke. You want to make sure you're inside and seeking shelter until this storm passes on by. For some more on the latest information on what we have going on, I'm going to toss things back over to meteorologist Christina Talamo. Christina.
Thanks, Reed. Now, as you've been saying, we're going to be continue talking until our tornado warning has expired. Currently, we have this warning issued until 6 p.m. We did see a tornado was confirmed touching the ground near Mechanicville, moving east around 40 miles per hour. So definitely be aware of that. You're going to want to get to the lowest point in your house. Make sure you're in a sturdy building. If you don't have a basement, try to get to a room and avoid all windows. Definitely don't want to be out in any vehicles. And as Reed was just saying, with that hail damage as well, about half inch size hail that's around like ping pong ball size, you definitely don't want to be outside. We can see some damage to some roofs, trees, sidings, as well as those vehicles. So definitely be aware of that if you're trying to go outside. Stay inside until we have the all clear that the tornado is no longer a problem. Currently for Rensselaer, Saratoga, and Washington counties until 6 o'clock p.m. Now the storm also has some very heavy rainfall, and as we were talking about here, Reed was talking about our hook echo signature. A little bit weaker right now, but we can start to see this little bit of a hook here, and that's kind of a signature that we look for when we're trying to identify a tornado on radar. And we do have confirmation that a tornado did touch ground near Mechanicville, is continuing to push eastward. Now taking a look at those locations of where we can see this tornado heading, as well as this very strong storm with heavy rains, torrential downpours, hail, and these very strong gusty winds heading towards Hoosick and Hoosick's Falls by around 5:55, 6 o'clock. So that's coming for you in just the next couple of minutes, as well as heading towards Bennington a little bit after 6 and Searsburg towards 6:30. So we're going to have to keep tracking to see if this tornado warning will be extended. But right now, our tornado warning is until 6 o'clock p.m. for a confirmed tornado that was on the ground near Mechanicville. Now let's go to Reed for any updates on the radar and see if there's anything new to report. Reed?
Yeah, Christina, again, that is confirmed until 6 o'clock. We are going to be staying with you on the air until 6 o'clock or until this warning expires. Right now, that does look like it's at least going to be staying in effect until 6 o'clock because of how favorable that rotation is that we are seeing. That was a confirmed tornado that we did see on the ground by some spotters out near Mechanicville. Still seeing that heavy rain, torrential rain around that. So again, this is why we're stressing the importance of being inside and seeking shelter. If you were caught outside in this, you may not even see it coming because of reduced visibility. We have heavy torrential rain off to the north. We are seeing some heavy hail in regards to pretty big diameter, right around a half of an inch. Still seeing that hail core getting a little bit bigger for us here. Still right around half of an inch from areas between Crandall Corners, East Buskirk to the north of Millertown, and even just to the south and west of Millertown as well. Still seeing some hail in there as well. The velocity was still looking pretty favorable right now from what we've been seeing over the past few minutes for us here. It's still looking pretty strong, moving towards and away from the radar. See how pretty similar they are. That's a good sign that that rotation is still going pretty strong here. And we're going to also take a look at the shear. If we have a higher shear number, that's usually the shear is still looking pretty favorable as well to keep these conditions rolling as we get closer towards the end of this tornado warning. But right now it's still in effect until 6 o'clock. We're staying with you on the air until this ends because your lives are more important than what was currently on air right now and the lives of your neighbors. So still tornado warning in effect until 6 o'clock, and this is for portions of Saratoga County, Washington County, and Rensselaer County. So southeastern Saratoga County, southern Washington County, and northern Rensselaer County until 6 o'clock this evening. We are seeing some large hail and a damaging tornado. The impact that we are anticipating to see from this is some flying debris. To those will be dangerous to those caught outside without shelter. Mobile homes could be damaged or destroyed depending on how strong this tornado is. Damage to roofs, windows, and vehicles is very likely to occur, and tree damage is also looking very likely. This is why we stress, especially when we have a confirmed tornado on the ground, that you need to take cover now. Move to the basement or the interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building in your house included. Make sure you're avoiding the windows. If you are outside or in a mobile home or even in a car, you need to make sure you're moving to the closest substantial shelter to protect yourself from any flying debris. So again, tornado warning in effect until 6 o'clock for, we have southeastern Saratoga, southern Washington County, and northern Rensselaer County. Again, we're going to take a look here at the track for it here. We're going to clear out the warning so you can see a little bit better. We're going to go back over to the cone and track where this is heading specifically. And this is moving northeast at around 40 miles per hour. So East Buskirk, better be getting ready right now and starting to find that spot to take shelter. You have about 8 minutes before that tornado gets to you. Hoosick Junction in about 12 minutes. White Creek in 19, 24 minutes. By South Shaftesbury and Shaftesbury, and just about a half hour from now. So again, if you are in the path of this tornado, make sure you are getting inside and seeking shelter right now immediately. We do have a severe thunderstorm watch across the region today because we have the potential for more storms like this that could produce rotation and give us a tornado on the ground. We're kind of going to zoom on out here, give you an idea of what we have going on across the region elsewhere as well. We do have a strong line of thunderstorms here extending all the way from Hamilton County down into Otsego County. That's going to start to push its way into our region too within the next few hours here. So we'll be keeping a close eye on that. But right now, the main spot of concern is our tornado warning. That is for southeastern Saratoga, southern Washington County, and northern Rensselaer County until 6 o'clock. We're going to zoom on in back again here. You can see the hook echo starting to disappear a little bit more on us here, so that's a good sign already. We're going to take a look at the velocity, see if we're seeing any differences in speed here. The speed still looking fairly strong in a couple of spots here. It is looking to be a little bit more inconsistent now. That is a good indicator that it is starting to weaken for us here, so good news for us there. We're going to see if the shear is looking favorable, if it's still in a favorable shear environment. At the moment, it is still looking like it's in a favorable environment in regards to shear. So this looks like it's going to continue to last for at least a little while longer. This warning is still in effect until 6 o'clock. We're going to have to wait and see if the Weather Service chooses to let this one expire. or if they're going to extend this further to the north and east right now. But again, heavy torrential rain surrounding this. If you are near this storm, or if you're near this tornado even, you might need to make sure you are inside seeking shelter. If you know anybody in this spot, make sure that you are also getting the word out to them and telling them to seek shelter until it passes on by. That heavy torrential rain is going to cause some reduced visibility around that tornado. And in addition to that, too, we were getting reports of some rather large hail. You can see that hail has continued to move further to the north and west now, still averaging right around 1/2 inch in diameter. A couple spots looking a little bit smaller than that, but that kind of hail still enough to do some damage to some tree limbs, as well as for portions of the house, whether it's the roof or the siding, maybe in a few vehicles, if we get a piece that's large enough right there. We're going to go through a loop of the radar so you can kind of see the path that it's taken within the last few minutes here. You can see that still looking fairly strong as it pushes its way towards the middle of this warning right now. We're going to track it one more time and give you an idea on where it's going. Northeast, once again, right around 40 miles per hour. It's going to be at right around Hoosick Junction in 11 minutes. Wallomac in 14. We have White Creek in 18 and Shaftesbury in about a half hour. The good news here right now, it is 6 o'clock. The Weather Service has taken down the warning. That does mean that it does look promising enough that the warning could come down. So right now we do not have a tornado warning on the ground. We do have still a pretty strong thunderstorm, though, pushing through the region. So if you are in this spot, still make sure you are inside seeking shelter until this passes on through. They actually just updated the tornado warning. So we do still have the tornado warning. Further south now for us here. So this is continuing now. We're going to take a look at the latest information for us here as we continue to see the updated track for this. That warning has now expired. So the previous one has expired. Our new one now remains in effect until 6:45 p.m. for Rensselaer County, and this is because of the fact that we had a severe thunderstorm that was producing a tornado. Was located 7 miles to the east of Hoosick Falls. It's now moving east at 25 miles per hour. So we have that confirmed tornado on the ground. Don't know if it's still reports of it being on the ground, but the rotation on the radar is still looking favorable, and they are seeing at least quarter-size hail with this storm as it continues to push its way into our region here, and it is moving a little further to the south right now. You can kind of see it's moving east at 25 miles per hour. So as this continues to work its way into our region here, we're going to go back to the squall line, and we're going to track it for you so you can see where it's going to be going here in just a second. So it's moving east at 25 miles per hour. That's going to be at Hoosick Falls right now. North Bennington in about 8 minutes. Pepper Mill Village in 12. Old Bennington in 22. And Hoosick in about 24 minutes from now. So again, very strong thunderstorm starting to push its way into northern Rensselaer County here. We do have a tornado warning in effect until 6:45. From this one, it is radar indicated rotation. We don't have reports of this one being on the ground at the current moment. We'll take a look at the velocity from this. Again, you can see pretty bright green colors here and some bright reds. That's not a good indication when it comes to tornado. It's for our favorability here, but it is a good indication that we have some decent rotation here with this storm. It does look to be a little weaker than what we had earlier on. Earlier on, when this morning was for portions of Saratoga and Washington County, the winds were closer towards around 25 miles per hour. Now, closer towards that 10-mile-an-hour range. So if we do have a tornado on the ground, it's going to be closer towards EF0, EF1. Still enough to cause some damage in regards to some winds. But again, the main thing right now is if you live in this spot, you need to take cover now, move to the basement or to an interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building, and if that is your home, then that is the place to be. Make sure you're in the interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building. Make sure you're avoiding the windows. If you are outdoors in a mobile home or in a vehicle, make sure you're moving to the closest substantial shelter to protect yourself from any flying debris. This thunderstorm itself, earlier on when we had the severe thunderstorm warning, was producing wind gusts of around 60 miles per hour. And if you notice, all this red here is signs of torrential rain. So this is going to be a good indicator of low visibility around this thunderstorm itself and around that tornado warning. So visibility is going to be reduced in those spots. That's something you need to keep in mind. That is why we stressed you that you need to take shelter. We'll take a look at the hail right now. West Hoosick is seeing all that hail at the current moment. Hail seems to be ranging between 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 of an inch in diameter, big enough to cause some damage to roofs, to the siding of your home, to some vehicles, maybe even to some tree limbs as well. So keep that in mind. We'll take a loop once again. As this continues to push through the region, you can see it was a little bit more sturdier early on. As we get it closer to the region, that line was a little bit more steady, is now starting to weaken a little bit more. That red line is starting to widen a little bit. So that is a sign too that this system is going to gradually weaken for us here. We're going to track this for you one more time. Like we said, it is moving to the east at 25 miles per hour at this point. So we'll take a look at the tracker once again for us here. And that is moving eastward at 25 miles per hour. Again, if you were in these spots, you want to make sure you're taking action now, being weather alert and ready, seeking shelter immediately. We have East Hoosick in about 7 minutes, Hoosick Falls in about 10, Potter Hill in 13. We have Bennington in about 21 minutes. We'll be seeing this storm system here. So make sure you are heading inside, seeking shelter, especially areas like East Hoosick. You are taking action now, finding that spot to go seek shelter until the storm passes on by. Again, pretty large storm itself. Heavy torrential rain associated with it. We are getting strong wind gusts. We got some reports of some wind damage earlier on from this storm as it worked its way from west to east to where it is now, even snapping a couple of tree limbs here. Right now you can see, though, heavy torrential rain, some stronger wind gusts still associated with this. We'll take another look at the velocity once again. And you can see the velocity's picked up a little bit more, averaging closer towards 15 to 20 miles per hour in a couple of spots here. So still, this is remaining a threat. We're going to remain on air for you here because this is important, and this is what you guys need to know about right now as you are at home right now this evening, just observing the weather. This is not a joke for us here. This is a very serious storm. Tornado warning remaining in effect until 6:45 for just northern Rensselaer County at the moment. Again, because we had that rotation on the radar indicating that we had a tornado on the ground. This storm did produce a confirmed tornado on the ground earlier on. We do not have any reports currently. If we do see any currently on the ground, just the fact that the rotation is favorable enough to indicate that there is a tornado on the ground. So right now, just radar indicated from this storm system itself. So that warning remaining in effect until 6:45. Heavy torrential rain, some hail associated with it, velocity as well. We'll go back to the tracker right around where we are seeing that tornado. We're going to move it further to the east here. And you can see Groveside School will be pretty close to where that is in about 4 minutes. Hoosick in about 21, and East Hoosick in about 28 minutes. Where it's going to continue to see that chance for that tornado as it continues to push further to the east now. We'll go back and take a look at the hail once again. It seems like the hail hasn't really been changing all too much on us here. We are now dropping a little bit more, so that's a good sign of at least the storm itself is starting to weaken a little bit here. The hail right around near West Hoosick, if you're in the spot, you are seeing any reports of big hail, please make sure you're sending them our way. So that we can keep you guys up to date with the latest information on what we are seeing outside. So what we are seeing right now in West Hoosick, we are still seeing that hail that is right around 1/4 of an inch in diameter, a little bit larger in a couple of spots as that continues to push its way throughout the course of our region here. And we're going to go back over to the radar. This is where we were seeing that heavy rotation earlier on in the day. We're going to move a little bit further south. Our hook echo was a little bit more prominent. It is now starting to break apart a little bit more, so that's a nice sign for us there. We're going to go back to the velocity to see what we are seeing right now. 25-mile-an-hour winds moving towards and away from the radar. We're averaging closer towards that 20-mile-an-hour range. So the wind's looking a little bit weaker in regards to velocity. We'll take a look at the shear at the moment too, and that shear environment still looking pretty favorable for that rotation needed for a tornado to be on the ground. But again, right now, we do not have a confirmed tornado on the ground, just the radar indicated rotation.
We don't have a confirmed tornado just yet, but we are indicated that we can see a tornado on radar right now. So definitely be aware of that. You don't want to be outside. Be sure to get to the basement of your house. And if you do not have a basement, try to get to a sturdy room or building where there are no windows. This is definitely something to take seriously, and we will be continuing to update you until this tornado warning has expired. Taking a look outside right now on our CDP-HP first warning cam in Bennington, Vermont right now. It's pretty ominous out there right now. We don't see what is quite like a funnel cloud or anything yet, so no confirmation on a tornado, but we're seeing some rain definitely in the background here. Taking a look right now, again, our tornado warning is issued until 6:45 p.m. for Rensselaer County. Is currently moving east at approximately 45 miles per hour, so the storm is going to be continuing to push eastward as we head into the next couple of minutes, so definitely be aware of that if you are in the track of the storm. Taking a look here as we zoom in a little bit less of that hook echo signature, but definitely something we need to worry about. Now, taking a look here at the timing of when we're going to be seeing the storm starting to move towards you, heading towards Hoosick and East Hoosick around 6:33 p.m., towards Bennington around 6:45. Now, our warning is issued until 6:45 p.m. You definitely don't want to be outside, and be sure to keep watching as well as keep updated until this tornado warning is over, because it's definitely something you want to be aware of. Now, we're seeing a lot of rotation indicated on the radar, and that's why we have this tornado warning, because of this strong rotation within this severe thunderstorm. We're also seeing some debris signatures as well in this storm. Taking a look here, we have seen some maximum hail size, approximately 1 inch wide hail. So definitely, even if we do not see this tornado end up developing in the radar signature, we still have very strong gusty winds with the storm, as well as some decent sized large hail. And that's going to be something you don't want to be outside for. It can cause damage to any vehicles, as well as you if you're standing outside, and those roofs and those trees. So definitely be aware of that. And taking a look again at our first warning of velocity right now, we see those bright colors. So we are seeing some rotation on our radar right now. It looks like that miles per hour hasn't updated quite yet, but we're seeing that it is some decently strong rotation. We will be monitoring that as we continue this tornado warning to see if there is, in fact, a tornado on the ground. I'll give it back to Reed for some more updates on the radar. Back to you, Reed.
Thanks, Christina. The big thing, once again, is we have that rotation confirmed. We don't have it indicated that we have one confirmed on the ground, but still, if you are in this spot, what you need to do right now is make sure you're getting inside and seeking shelter immediately until this system passes on by. If you are in your house and you have a basement, move to the basement. If you don't have the basement, move to an interior room on the lowest floor of your house, and make sure you're avoiding the windows. So whether that's the hallway or an interior closet that doesn't have any windows, make sure you are in that spot there. If you are outdoors in a mobile home or in a vehicle even, make sure you're moving to the closest substantial shelter to protect yourself from any flying debris. This, when it was a severe thunderstorm earlier on in the day, was producing wind gusts as high as 60 miles per hour. Although we're not seeing wind gusts that high, it is still producing some pretty strong wind gusts. That, in combination with all this dark red here, is a sign of heavy torrential rain. So that's going to cause some reduced visibility right off the bat. And if that tornado is in that spot, then you are going to be dealing with that as well, reduced visibility. And that hail as a factor in there is going to also contribute to reduced visibility as well. So make sure you're inside, seeking shelter immediately. Again, we're staying on the air until this warning expires. The importance of your lives is why we're here right now. We want to tell you what is happening outside. We want to give you the latest information so that all of you are continuing to stay safe and are weather alert and weather ready for what is going on outside. So first warning live Doppler radar right now, showing that heavy rain. We're going to go back and take a look at the velocity once again for us here. You can see that darker shade of red and green still sticking around and staying with us here. So it still looks pretty promising at the moment. The winds are looking a little bit more inconsistent and a little bit more weaker. So that is good news for us there. We're going to keep that in mind. The tornado warning still remains in effect until 6:45 p.m. for Rensselaer County. It is moving east at 25 miles per hour, so we're going to go back over to the radar. We're going to track where we are seeing that rotation and what direction it's going to be heading here for us here. So if you are in this spot, make sure you are heading inside and seeking shelter immediately until this passes on by here. So in about 3 minutes, Potter Hill is going to be seeing this storm pass on by right around where we are seeing that rotation. So seek shelter now. Hoosick School, 10 minutes. Hoosick itself in about 12 minutes. We have Old Bennington in about a half hour from now is going to see the impact from the storm as it continues to push its way throughout this area here. We're going to loop this continuously. You can see it's been weakening a little bit as it continues to push a little further south here. We do have also some more updates too on some other severe weather going on top of this here. But the main priority right now that we have going on, we do have the tornado warning that is in effect here until 6:45 for Rensselaer County, but we also are under a severe thunderstorm watch until 9 o'clock across the region. So we're going to zoom on out, give you an idea of what else we are looking at, and we just got into the newsroom right now an update for you here that we do have a severe thunderstorm warning out in Schaghticoke County as well. So we're going to touch on this too really quick, and we're going to go right back over to that tornado warning here so that those of you on the western parts of our viewing area can also get an idea of what we have going on outside here. You can see a very strong line of showers just about to push its way into Schaghticoke County. This is until 7:15. With this storm, we are seeing 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts at the moment. And with the current thing too here, we'll take a look for any signs of hail. Not really any hail, only one little spot here, seeing about 1/4 of an inch in diameter. This is continuing to push its way further to the east at 40 miles per hour. So we're going to track this one for you here with our squall here. If you are in this area too, make sure you're heading inside and seeking shelter. Richmondville in about 3 minutes, 7 minutes in Cobleskill. Middleburg in 20 minutes, and we have Wright in 25 minutes is going to be seeing this strong thunderstorm push on through the region. We also have some stronger showers developing off to the north. We're going to be keeping a close eye on that as well. Be weather alert and ready today. Make sure you have your First Warning weather app with you as well. We are going to be seeing further chances for this kind of severe weather later on into the evening time until at least 9 o'clock when that watch does look to expire. But again, our main priority right now is the tornado warning that we do have in effect for Rensselaer County. This is until 6:45. It is set to expire right around a half hour from now because the radar is indicating rotation on it. We did have a confirmed tornado from this storm earlier on. We have no reports currently if there is one confirmed on the ground, but if you are in this spot, make sure you are seeking shelter immediately until this storm passes on by. We will take a look here at the velocity one more time. Velocity starting to look a little bit weaker, so that is a good news for us there, but it is still consistent. So we have 7-mile-an-hour winds moving towards and away from the radar right now. If we did have a tornado on the ground, it would most likely be EF0 or EF1. That is still pretty significant in regards to damage you can see and some debris. You can still see some debris damage to the roof, to the siding of homes, as well as some mobile home damage, and some tree limbs could even move away for us here. So we're going to see this continue to track further east at around 25 miles per hour. It'll be at Hoosick in about 8 minutes, Bennington in 24 minutes as well. So make sure if you are in these spots, you are planning your course of action. If you are under 10 minutes away from this, make sure you are finding a spot to seek shelter for immediately right now. We're going to take a look at our CDPHP First Warning Cam out in Bennington. You can see that storm is approaching now. You can see a little bit of that shelf cloud, that lower extension of the cloud starting to push through the region. At the tree line there, the farthest leftmost spot, it's starting to look a lot darker. That is a good indicator. This is off to our west here of some heavier rain starting to fall out by Bennington right now. So this system's continuing to push its way closer towards Bennington County at the moment. We are still seeing some strong heavy rain around this tornado warning as well. As you're looking at the radar once again, you can see that all those dark shades of red are signs of heavy rain falling. And we're going to take a look at the hail once again too, because hail is also going to play a role here in reducing some visibility. This is just to the north of Hoosick. Hail has gotten significantly larger within the last few minutes, between around 1/2 of an inch to 3/4 of an inch in diameter. We'll kind of zoom on in a little bit more here, see if you can see where else this is by. So right near Hoosick Falls, West Hoosick. If you're in the spot, watch for that heavy hail. That is definitely enough to do some damage, not just to the roof and to the siding, but to some tree limbs, maybe even to a couple of cars as well. So heavy rain surrounding that here. We'll take a look at the velocity once again, and you can see that strong. And we are seeing this, some decent shades here of green still and some red moving towards and away from the radar. So still some favorable signs of rotation. We'll take a look at the shear as well, and still, this is still in a pretty favorable spot for some shear here in regards to keeping these conditions favorable for that tornado rotation. Again, at the moment, not a confirmed tornado on the ground. We have confirmed, we have it indicated by radar rotation in and of itself. But still, if you are in these spots, please make sure you're heading inside and seeking shelter. Move to the basement or an interior room on the lowest floor of your home, or just a sturdy building in general. Make sure you're avoiding the windows. If you are outside in a mobile home or in a vehicle, make sure you're moving to the closest substantial shelter to protect yourself from any flying debris as the storm passes on by. Again, we do not have a severe thunderstorm warning with the system anymore, but we do have, it looks like they just extended it a little further south now, into portions of our region here, further south into Rensselaer County here. So we're going to take a look at some of this latest conditions here as this continues to come on into our newsroom. We have that tornado warning still in effect until 6:45 for Rensselaer County because of radar indicated rotation. The impact to expect from this is flying debris that's going to be dangerous to those caught without shelter. Mobile homes could be damaged or destroyed depending on how strong this tornado is and if it does reach the ground, if there is one that is on the ground currently. There's going to be damage to roofs, windows, and vehicles, and tree damage is also looking very likely. This tornadic thunderstorm, though, right now looks to remain over mainly rural areas of northeastern Rensselaer County, including the following spots of Pittstown, as well as Hoosick, Petersburg Junction, Potter Hill, Babcock Lake, and West Hoosick as well. So again, you can see this storm still looking pretty potent right now, bringing some heavy rain with it right around that tornado. You can still see sort of a hook echo right now. That hook echo not quite looking as strong as what we had seen earlier on, where you see that red start to rotate around into this area of green right near Hoosick, looking a little bit more wide right now. So that's a good indicator that it's not as strong as what we had seen earlier on. We'll also take a look here at the hail, and that hail is still looking pretty large in spots here, so you want to make sure you are seeking shelter, ranging once again between 1/2 of an inch in diameter to 3/4 of an inch in diameter as this continues to push through the region. Again, we're staying on the air until this tornado warning expires. We are continuing to see that heavy rain around it. With that hail in combination with some stronger wind gusts too is going to reduce the visibility around this storm and around that tornado. So make sure you are inside and seeking shelter. Again, not the only thing that we are seeing outside right now. We're going to zoom on out a little bit more. We still have that severe thunderstorm warning. It looks like we actually have a new one that was extended further north into Montgomery County. So we're going to take a look at these really quick here too, so that you guys have an idea off to our west on what is going on outside still here. So we still have our line of showers that's now starting to push its way into Schaghticoke County as well as Montgomery County here. So we're going to take a look at both of these really quick. We have our severe thunderstorm warning now that is for portions of Montgomery, Schenectady, northeastern Schaghticoke, and southeastern Montgomery County as well as Schenectady County. This is until 7:15 p.m. We are looking at still seeing some 55 mile an hour. It's moving east at 55 miles per hour. We are seeing 60 mile an hour wind gusts. With this storm, you can expect to see some damage to roofs, sidings, and trees. So with this, we're going to take a look at the track for it here. We'll give you an idea of where this is heading. This storm also no joke right now, so make sure you are heading inside and seeking shelter until it passes on by. We're going to track this right now, moving east at 55 miles per hour. So we're going to go right along this line here, and we can see that it's going to be reaching Amsterdam in 5 minutes, Esperance in 11, Glenville in 13. We have Ballston in 21 minutes and Schenectady in about a half hour with that one. We also still have a second one that is further to our south here. That is Schaghticoke County. That one remains in effect until 7:15 p.m. as well. This one is also seeing 60 mile an hour wind gusts and it is moving east at 40 miles per hour. So we will track this one as well, give you an idea on where this one is heading. It is pretty close to Cobleskill right now. So Cobleskill in about 2 minutes, Middleburg in 15. We have Bern in about a half hour. Make sure you guys are heading inside and seeking shelter until this one passes on by for us here. We are going to see We had some older information, but still some good information to share here with you guys. About an hour ago, the Mechanicville Emergency Manager reported a tornado at 5:26 p.m. A mobile home was damaged by high winds. So still, this one storm, although we do not have a severe thunderstorm warning, does have that tornado warning still in effect until 6:45 p.m. Again, if you live in this spot, you already heard the report of that confirmed tornado from earlier on. This was about an hour ago when this one happened. This was from that same storm. We still have indications of rotation in the storm. We don't have confirmed reports of a tornado on the ground, but this remains in effect until 6:45 p.m. Still seeing some of those pockets of heavy rain surrounding that. We're going to go back and take a look at the velocity on here once again to see if we've seen any signs of weakening. This looks already a little bit more promising than what we had before. The winds starting to die down a little bit more. That is a good sign for us there. In that regard, we'll take a look at the shear as well to see if it's still in a favorable environment to prompt that rotation. At the moment, it still looks a little bit favorable, but that wind right now and the velocity is still looking a little bit more promising as a sign that it might be weakening some point soon here. Hail dropping a little bit more as well, dropping down to between 1/4 of an inch to 1/2 of an inch in diameter. That is good news for us there. But again, it is still moving east at around 25 miles per hour. So we are going to continue to track this one here. We'll go back to the tracker and give you an idea of where this is heading. East, right around 25 miles per hour is going to put us pretty close to Southern Vermont College in about 15 minutes, 28 minutes. It's going to be at the Stanford Meadows Wildlife Management Area, 17 minutes to the One World Conservation Center. So if you are in this spot or know anybody in this area, make sure you're reaching out to them, telling them about what's going on. Make sure they are seeking shelter immediately until this storm passes on by. Again, we'll take a look at our first warning cam out in Bennington right now. You can see that visibility has certainly dropped quite a bit within the last few minutes that we have checked on it. If you don't know or not, it is actually raining out there. The rain on the rain gauge there on our camera is measuring just shy of 1/4 of an inch of rain already. Still seeing some signs of that heavier rain on the westernmost part of our screen here. We're going to continue to track this for us here. We're going to go back over to the radar, and you can still see even some stronger showers off to the west from this thunderstorm as well. But still, the main concern here, that tornado warning still in effect until 6:45 p.m. for Rensselaer County because of that severe thunderstorm that is capable of producing a tornado earlier on. Still moving east at 25 miles per hour. The main impact to see from this here is that flying debris is going to be dangerous to anybody caught outside without shelter. Mobile homes could be damaged or destroyed from this. Damage to roofs, windows, and vehicles is very likely to occur, and tree damage is also looking very likely at this moment. So if you are in the spot, again, make sure you are seeking shelter right now, moving to a basement or to an interior room on the lowest floor of a sturdy building. Make sure you're avoiding the windows. If you are outside or in a mobile home or even in a vehicle, make sure you are moving to the closest substantial shelter to protect yourself from any flying debris on here. So we'll take a closer look at this once again. You have the updated look at the radar. Still, we are going to take a look at the velocity really quick to see if we have any more changes here. Velocity starting to, that giant green patch is now starting to shrink up a little bit more, so that is good news for us there. But still, a couple of spots where we are seeing some stronger velocity right around near Hoosick. So if you're in this spot, make sure you are seeking shelter. We'll take a look at the hail. Once again, still seeing some hail size right over 1/4 of an inch just to the north of Hoosick. And we're going to go back over to the radar still. Again, when we have this kind of rotation from a tornado, visibility is already reduced, but look at the rain right around Hoosick here as well. It is pretty heavy torrential rain. We could see potentially some localized flash flooding if you are in a spot like that. Just be mindful that you could have that reduced visibility from this here, and you are going to continue to see that heavy rain fall. You're going to get reduced visibility from that. From the tornado, we still have some strong wind gusts as well as from that hail. So still moving east at 25 miles per hour. You can see that that warning was just extended once again out into Bennington County here. But we're going to track where this is going first. We'll take a look at the updated track for that warning in just a second here. maybe even Christina might have the information on that to share for us here. But we're going to take a look at the cone, see where that's going. 25 miles per hour to our east here. And that is going to be closer to areas like Bushnell School in about 19 minutes and Stanford Meadows Wildlife Management area in about a half hour from now. A lot of this is going to be in some mainly rural areas, but still, for those of you who know any farmers in that area or anybody who lives in that spot, please reach out, make sure they are aware of what is going on outside and that they're seeking shelter immediately until this passes on by. We're going to take a look at that new warning right now. So that warning has now been extended into Bennington County as well as Rensselaer. This is until 7 o'clock now. We are going to be seeing this in northeastern Rensselaer County, as well as we have southwestern Bennington County because of that radar indicated rotation marking of a tornado. This was near Hoosick Falls again, so if you're in Hoosick Falls, make sure you are inside seeking shelter now. It is right over you there. The impact is going to be some flying debris that could be dangerous to those caught without shelter. Some mobile homes are going to be damaged or destroyed. Some damage to roofs, windows, and vehicles is very likely to occur, and tree damage is also likely here as well. So still, take a look at the loop from the storm. You can see it has weakened at points, but it looks to be re-strengthening a little bit more as it starts to push into Bennington County right now. Again, Hoosick area, Hoosick Falls, is right around where we are seeing this indication of rotation. So if you are in that spot, make sure you are inside, seeking that shelter immediately. Areas like Hoosick Falls, seeing that heavy torrential rain, as well as favorable conditions for that tornado rotation. Right now, again, we don't have any pictures or video of anything being confirmed on the ground. Right now, it is just radar rotation, radar indicated rotation. So here's a look at that first warning velocity right now. You can kind of see that we have that radar indicated rotation. And you can see those shades of green and red are colors for what is moving towards and away from the radar right now. So what is happening here is we are looking at the winds as it approaches and moves away from the radar. If they are fairly similar to each other, that means that we still have a fairly good rotating system itself. And right now, as you can see, 13 and 17 is pretty close together. We are going to be seeing some fairly decent chance here for some rotation with this spot right around your Hoosick. So if you're in Hoosick, make sure you are taking shelter right now. That rotation is right over you here. We are also seeing some hail right to the north of Hoosick as well. It is averaging between a 1/4 of an inch to a 1/2 of an inch in diameter. So this system, still no joke, folks. Make sure you are seeking shelter. We're going to be staying on the air until this tornado warning expires now, especially the one that has now extended into Bennington County. But again, this isn't even the only thing that we have going on here in our region. We still have this warning in effect. Again, with that rotation, the winds around the tornado is going to cause reduced visibility. Take a look at how dark these shades of red are right around near Hoosick. That is a sign of torrential rain. In addition to that, some hail just to the north of that is going to cause even more reduced visibility, so you want to make sure that you are inside seeking shelter too. I also want to highlight right now, we're going to take a closer look right by Bennington. You see some heavier rain off to the south, some darker shades right now of yellow starting to push into Bennington County. We'll take a look at the CDPHP first warning cam, and you can kind of just see on our first warning cam out in Bennington that we do have that much more reduced visibility, and you can see that rain is now on the camera. It's going to continue, that rain is going to continue to become more steady in that spot as we continue to work our way into the next few minutes here as this warning continues now until 7 o'clock heading into Bennington County right now. This is not the only thing that we are seeing across the region right now. I'm going to zoom on out here on the first warning live Doppler radar. We do still have severe thunderstorm warnings in effect as well. Off to our west. We'll take a look at these here as well, give you an update on their track and where they are heading at the current moment in time. And we'll start with this one up north, a little further up north into Montgomery County here. What we have going on this one is in effect until 7:15 p.m. It is moving east at 55 miles per hour, so we'll give you the track on where this one's heading right now so that you can get an idea of where that is going to be heading. And you can act appropriately and seek shelter until this storm passes on by. This one is going to also pack quite a punch. We are seeing 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts with this one. That's definitely enough to do some damage to the home as well here. So we have Glenville in about 9 minutes, East Glenville in 17, Schenectady in 23, Clifton Park in 29 minutes, and we're also going to work our way a little further south here. We have some more showers and thunderstorms here for Schoharie County. This one we're going to take a look at and see how long this warning's in effect. This is until 7:15 p.m. And this one we are also seeing 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. It's moving east at 40 miles per hour. So we're going to track this one for you here so you have an idea where this one's heading. If you're in these spots, please make sure you're heading inside and seeking shelter until the storm passes on by. It's going to be near Middleburg by 6:40, Wright by 6:50, Bern by 6:59, Altamont by 7:07, and Rensselaerville by 7:12. I also just saw, just off to our east here, we have another severe thunderstorm warning that was issued, and that goes right along with the tornado warning that we have. So we'll take a look here at what our warning has to say as we are getting all this information in right now. So we have that severe thunderstorm warning for Berkshire and Rensselaer County. With this, we are seeing 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts and quarter-size hail. This is definitely the impact we can see here is some hail damage to vehicles is going to be expected, some wind damage to roofs, to the sidings and trees. Areas of impact here are going to be Troy, Williamstown, Grafton, Berlin, Center Brunswick, Pittstown, Schaghticoke, Valley Falls, Lansingburg. These guys are in the track right now. This is moving southeast at 20 miles per hour, so we'll track this one here for you as well. Southeast at 20 miles per hour for us is a pretty good indicator that this is a very slow-moving storm. You can see that heavy rain associated with it. So if you are in the path of this storm, watch for some localized flash flooding as well. It's going to be at Pittstown in about a minute, Tamarack in 6, Grafton in 14, and Stillham in about 25 minutes from now. So make sure you guys are preparing accordingly as this one approaches. But again, right now, our main concern is our tornado warning. We have tornado warning still in effect until 6:45 for Rensselaer County, so that's about 10 minutes from now. That is almost going to expire here because that extends further to the east now. This one is in fact until 7 o'clock for Bennington and Rensselaer County. We're going to be staying on the air until these warnings expire. The lives of your neighbors and those around you are definitely important here and need to be addressed here to help them out as this strong storm starts to push its way through the region. So right now, we'll take another look at what we have going on with this storm and that tornado warning in and of itself. We are seeing another one as well here. So we have that tornado warning. Right now, we don't have any pictures or videos to confirm. It is just rotation in the system. So we're going to zoom on in a little bit more towards this storm. We were seeing that really strong rotation before, just over Hoosick. It's still looking pretty decent rotation-wise right around near Hoosick, but it is starting to push a little further to the east. The winds looking a little weaker on this velocity, but still pretty similar as to what's moving towards and away from the radar at this moment in time. So still seeing some pretty decent rotation on this one. We'll take a look at the shear and see if it's still in a favorable environment. Not much shear, so that is good news for us there. That's a good sign that means the environment's not going to be as favorable to keep this thing rotating for us here. And we'll also take a look at the hail. No signs of hail around this storm at the moment, so that is good news right there. We'll go back to the radar and see once again with that rotation, heavy torrential rain around that in combination with some stronger wind gusts is a good sign that we are going to see reduced visibility around this storm. I mean, we'll take a look at our first warning came out in Bennington. Once again, you can see the visibility has certainly dropped off a little bit more since this storm has continued to push its way closer towards Bennington. The heaviest of that rain still just off to the south of that. We're going to take a look at the cone once again to track this for you to give you an idea on where this is heading. Still moving to the east at around 25 miles per hour for us here. So very slow moving storm. That heavy torrential rain could lead to some localized flash flooding. It is moving through a pretty rural area at the moment. In about 6 minutes, it's going to hit Maple Grove School. In about 13 minutes, it's going to be at Stanford Meadows Wildlife Management, and it'll be at Hartwellville in about a half hour from now. But still, heavy torrential rain associated with this storm. We do still have that severe thunderstorm warning associated with this system. And we do even have another one that was issued we're going to zoom on out here. We're going to go back to the home view. We do have a severe thunderstorm warning now up north that we need to talk about here, as well as this line of strong showers and thunderstorms continues to push through the region. We are going to continue to see this chance for some severe thunderstorms. We still have a severe thunderstorm watch in effect until 9 o'clock tonight. So if you do end up heading out later this evening, make sure you're staying weather alert and ready. Make sure you have the First Warning Weather app with you here. The severe thunderstorm warning. This one's for Washington and Warren County, northeastern Warren, northern Washington County. This is until 7:30 p.m. At 6:34 p.m., that severe thunderstorm was located right down near Hullett's Landing, just to the northwest of Whitehall, about 12 miles northwest of there. It's moving east at about 45 miles per hour. The main hazard, once again with this one, as it seems to be with all the other severe thunderstorms that we have been seeing so far, is 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. So we're going to track this one for you, give you an idea on where it is heading. So we are going to be seeing that reach Hague in about 6:42, Silver Bay by 6:46, Putnam by 6:51, Benson by 7:04. If you are in any of these spots, make sure you're heading inside and seeking shelter until the storm passes on by. Right now, the main concern with this storm is 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. But for us here, we'll take that zoomed out view once again. You can still see we have quite the active weather pattern across the region here. We're going to go further south now and take a look once again at our other two severe thunderstorm warnings before we go back and touch on that tornado warning that we have here, unless if Christina comes back out with another warning track for us here to look at. But the first one that we have is in Warren County, or Montgomery County, and that one is, you can see, pretty heavy rain. It's pretty close to Glenville at this point in time. This one's going to be staying in effect until what we have until around 7:15 p.m. at this point in time. This is for Montgomery, Schenectady, Schaghticoke County. It is, again, producing 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts, and it is going to be moving to the east at 55 miles per hour. So a very fast-moving storm. It's going to produce quite a punch as it goes on by here. We'll track it for you so you have an idea on where it is going. And that's going to be closer towards Mariahville by 6:42. And actually, we're going to update this one once again for us here. We're going to retract this one. This is actually going to be moving towards Pattersonville by 6:41, Duanesburg by 6:46, Scotia by 6:50, Schenectady by 6:52, Niskayuna by 6:56, and Mechanicville by 7:03. We'll move further south now. We'll take a look once again here at Schaghticoke County. This one's staying in effect until 7:15 p.m. and we are going to be seeing that one producing 60-mile-an-hour wind gusts. This one's moving east at 40 miles per hour. So what we're going to do here is we're going to go back to the squall line, and we're going to trace this one for you so you can see how far this is going to be heading within the next few minutes for us here. So in about a half hour from now, by 6:42, it'll be at Middleburg, Broome by 6:51, Altamont by 6:58, Durham by 7:03, New Scotland by 7:11. And again, our main concern right now is we have that tornado warning still in effect. And for the latest on that, we're going to toss it over to Christina.